What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the Fanliest of Fridays, bringing you guys a playoff Fan Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us here. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below.
All right, guys, welcome in for another one, a Fan Friday edition. We're here at the weekend. We're about 48 hours away for game day, for game time kickoff. I can't wait. And hopefully it will not be the last game of the season for us. Hopefully it's just the first of 4 on that road to 6 and beyond.
You know it.
So we'll talk about this game here tonight. Very, very important matchups to think about and look for in this upcoming game. We took some time to break down some really intricate things. You might not even know every player on the screen. When it comes to the Packers, it's okay. We're going to break it down for you and let you know where we're going to win, how we're going to win, and why we're going to win with these matchups. All right, so anyways, on that note, let's get it rolling here on a Fan Friday. Shout out those people that rep the boards here for us, especially this week, representing the sponsor of the week back-to-back like our 90s Super Bowl Cowboys, none other than the great Jason Renfro.
Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate you, of course, as always. And not just, Jason is not the only one representing, I should say, because on the membership side of things, we have JD from DC representing the membership gifting board. Thank you so much.
Yes, he's the king of gifting memberships to other lucky family members in the chat. So much love to Mr. JD from DC. I think it's his first win here on that side of things with 20 gifted memberships. Appreciate him. We also got, of course, Big D in the place to be, repping it with a full loaded 100 points on the Stream Boss. You see him up there, fully loaded, topped up at that green. And then we got Snug X, who's always here. You know why he's always here, baby. He's got 3 weeks in a row on this thing right now.
That's right.
And he also had a pre-stream $20 Tony Pollard holler to Go Cowboys. Appreciate the man, Snug X, who's trying to maybe fight his way back to the top of a 4th week, a whole month of domination here. Because right now, when it comes to the leaders for this week, gifting-wise, we got 6 gifted memberships currently from Skeptical Fan, who is in the lead. And then we have 3 gifted memberships from Jason Renfro. For Skeptical Fan right now is up 6-3 on that side with a couple days to go. We'll see who wins that and who outlasts who there for the crown, as JD from DC still holding on to that. And then when you look at the Cash App board, still the same leader there, because she's not just leading it there, she's leading it on the overall board, and it is Marissa Sparkle, star level member. So appreciate Marissa, who is both currently the Cash App leader and currently the overall leader. We'll see what happens. Is she going to get that Cash App crown? Will she get that sponsor of the week? We shall see. We shall see. Much love to everybody here as we're getting ready for a big one against the Packers, a do or die, so to speak. And it is Fan Friday, so we usually do all the shout outs on the top shelf level membership, which is the star level and the over everything level. If you look here, star level membership, guys, coming in a couple of weeks, starring over everything. We got these jerseys sewn and stitched, new or old, a lot of choices, all different kinds of styles. One lucky winner from those 2 levels will be in this raffle in the next week or so of this month for January. But we also got a shout out on the nightly, the star and over everything level members, along with today on Fan Friday, the silver level 2, baby. Rep them for me.
Thank you very much to Bobby Bottles, Prince Jackson. Of course, you have Mr. A. Lavelle, the longest running member here at MCF. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog. Mary Alvarez, Skeptical Fan. Da Lunatic, Marissa Sparkle, Andy Potched, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, and of course, over everything, Seabass.
Seabass in the house. Appreciate him. Thank you. And a big thank you goes out to Jason Renfro, kicking it off, the first in-stream drop of the night with a $1.53 holler. What did Jason have to say?
We'll go Cowboys.
Hell yeah. Much love.
Thank you for kicking things off, Jason. Appreciate you, of course. And not just the only way to, drop the love and show the love, right? We had the super chat there. We have the gifted memberships.
You can jump in. You can jump in memberships too. But we also, and I also pre-stream Skeptical Fan thanks button drop. So another way of dropping the love here through the thanks. I appreciate you, Skeptical Fan, as he's on that board. Again, all these little drops count to something. If you look at the bottom right, you'll know why. But baby, there's 4 other ways people can get into this thing, whether it's in the, we talked about all these other 4 ways. There's the Cash App crown ways. 4 ways you can get on that side of things.
Of course, you have the Cash App money sign, MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, Streamlabs lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
Yep, and all these things matter this week even more than usual. Why? Well, baby, I'm going to let you do the honors of repping the man, the Lunatics, big raffle here. 4 jersey raffle coming at halftime of this game against the Packers Sunday. So get ready. It's only, you guys only have like today, tomorrow to get in this thing, to stack your raffle entries, to get in the membership and get bonus entries. Hell, baby, you know what are the prizes? How do they get in?
Of course, you have, the $10. That's all you need to enter. And it is cumulative, of course, guys. So, it adds up to that 10, and then you're in it. Of course, every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry, and you can stack as many of those as you want. If you're an MCF member, once you're in the raffle, you got a bonus entry as well, just for being an MCF member. So can't wait to see the 4 lucky winners who, are going to win.
Yeah, they're going to get that sewn and stitched jersey. Cowboy March style, a lot of teams, a lot of sports. But here it's about the Cowboys. Ice Tippler is a member is part of the membership in the Navy Blue Crew. Tell me why though, baby.
Because Jason Renfro just gifted a membership there. He's trying to ring all the bells there, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think he said check your Cash App as well.
I will do that in a minute here. I will. Checking a couple of things actually. So much love to Jason Renfro as he again right there another halfway to another membership to another raffle entry in this thing here. Like we said, sewn and stitched jerseys. You guys know what they look like. We just talked about it for the star level membership raffles. There's 4 of these. The Lunatics bringing it to the table. 10 every entry, unlimited entries in membership. After you hit the 10, you know it. Bonus entry. There you go, guys. Good luck to all on that. You can always ask about the info in the chat or hit !raffle, and it'll bring up the information as well as it's pinned in the chat as well. Again, I'm just letting everybody know in case they come for the first time. After a couple of days, maybe they missed it. Here's a chance to get in this thing, whether you go with 10 or you stack them even more. Just trying to give everybody their chance. Last chances to get in this great The Lunatic raffle. Much love to The Lunatic for making this happen. And much love and good luck to everybody who is currently in this thing. So, baby, as now we've announced all that news, let's announce who's in the house on a Fan Friday here in the chat.
We have AF1892. Hey, she's repping it in enemy territory. We have Rolando Rodriguez all the way from South Texas. Fuego bringing the heat. Man, over 60 points combined between both teams. That's a very high-scoring game. Jason Renfro, of course. Much love to you. Spoony Dog in the house. What's up? Even Lee Side Harold. Here to talk real football. Eric Wallace, what's up? Mike Aldana, much love to you. Robert Longoria. Hello and hi. Marco Seppi and a big aloha.
What's
to
up?
The man Mark.
Big Mark in the house.
Hawaii.
Hell yeah.
We got GM in the house. Hey, that would be a crazy playoff score if we could shut him out. I wish, but that's going to be tough to do. We got Dustin Roberts. Hello and hi. Skeptical Fan always. Staying skeptical.
You know it.
Let me see. Fuego bringing the heat. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. Andy Potched, what's up? Always go Cowboys. Hope you're doing well as well. Frame Rippers, FCF's resident tech, of course. Scorpio in the house. Trying to roll back. That's as far back as I can go. Let me come back down. So that's all the shout-outs here for now. I'll keep on shouting people out. I know Jason, you have another shout-out.
I know Jason had said he had a couple already from yesterday. Now he added 5. I'm estimating here, Jason. But you know what I mean. When you drop 5, you're already... If you're at 0, you are halfway to another raffle entry. That was my point. And then, he trickles in another one here. Another dollar holler in the Cash App, like he said. He said, can't call them Packers, only dumpsters. Go Cowboys. You know it. You know it. Appreciate you. Much love to Jason Renfro as he's still, trying to stack it up there. Some extra raffle entries and slowly also moving up the board here on MyCowboysFamily. So we keep track of that. Can't be, every day we'll have to redo the numbers. Tomorrow we'll get you those final numbers, so how far you're away from raffle entries, from other, from getting more entries in here, and maybe, how many you'll you'll have for this thing. We'll be announcing that on Sunday for game day. But really, of course, for halftime, we'll be doing that. Bigger thing is we'll have 4 great winners in this raffle and hopefully a 5th one, the Dallas Cowboys. We beat the Green Bay Packers. Any last comments in the chat before we get rolling, baby?
Let me see. Hey, AF, if you're brave enough to go to a Packers sports bar, more power to you. So I think that's everyone here. Oh, wait. We got one more shout out to give here.
All right.
An extra special shout out to the man Roy Strassner, who just dropped his first super chat here officially and also jumped into that raffle with a $10 holler.
Oh, when that hits.
He's an MCF member. He also gets that bonus entry as well.
Roy's a Navy Blue Crew, self-starter in there. Much love to him. He's been in the Navy Blue Crew for a while. Appreciate Mr. Roy Strassner. And when that drops, congratulations. Congrats to his first super chat, but he's been a member here in the Navy Blue Crew for a while. And when that hits, Big D's going to drop from 98 to Big D, 88 points there. CD Lamb, which is a big name here for our Cowboys this year. One of the best receiving years, if not the best receiving year we ever had from any Cowboy receiver. CD Lamb, number 88. That's how many points Big D will have.
That's right.
As soon as that Roy Strassner drop goes through. And yes, he's officially, like we've been saying over and over again here, we'll say it a lot more tonight to give everybody a chance to get in this thing. Kind of like that. I hope Roy was able to catch it in time because of the lunatic raffle. When you get 10 in it, or you can have 5 now and 5 later. You can put 2, 5, and 3. However you get the 10. Once you're in, if you're in the membership, you get another bonus raffle entry. That would be 2 for Roy Strassner. And if this, he just drops another 10 later, or 8 and then 2, and hey, that'd be another one. So you'd have to do 3. And then you keep upping your chances doing one of these great Sona Stitch jerseys. Much love to Roy Strassner with the $10 holler. What did he say with his first drop?
Go Cowboys.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, nothing beats the Go Cowboys, especially this weekend against the Fudge Packers. Anyways, appreciate you, Roy. You're in the mix there. I will get him on that board as well. And again, any last quick comments as I get Mr. Roy Strassner on the board?
Let me see here. Well, we were I saw a little joke here from Mike Aldana about college coaches saying maybe there should be a transfer portals for college football head coaches. Which I just thought that was kind of funny. So, let me see. Dustin Roberts, by the way, also said, I'm calling it. Cowboys 34, Green Bay 16. I would absolutely love that. I know, like I said, a range of score predictions because GM said, Cowboys shut him out to make a statement 28-0. I said, man, I would absolutely love that score, but even I don't think it's going to be possible to completely shut out the Packers in the playoffs.
Yeah, we could get a little bit of a snowball effect and kind of have things tumble the right way.
Look, I'll be happy with a little bit of blowout and no injuries.
Exactly,
but
that's number one.
Obviously, I think winning by a score like 34-16 would make quite the impression as well. I don't care what you want to say. Having a differential of that degree in the playoffs is still significant. So I would love to see that type of at-home domination. I think it just spurs the confidence moving forward as well. Like, hey, look at us. We're able to rock it.
In the playoffs against a winning team, right? In an important game. But at home, that's the thing that really butters our bread, and that's where we need to get our wins. By the way, I do want to update Roy Strassner. Again, you see Big D with 88 points. Well, Roy Strassner actually had 5 in it already for being in the membership. So he's 5 away from another membership raffle entry. Just throwing it out there. Just letting you know.
So made in 1975. We got Kenzie Bands in the house, of course. So, baby, let me go ahead and hand things off to you. Why don't you go ahead and get things started here? Let us know what's going on.
Actually, it's funny. I'm actually throwing it to you. Kicking it off because when it comes to the news, NFL news, and really, it's this, I say outside Cowboy news, this is obviously directly impactful to the Cowboys, but not our team currently right now. Our historic team here of, CeeDee Lamb just jumped over the great Michael Irvin, the playmaker, on the statistical side of things on a single season.
Said, hold up, let me grab some headlines.
He wanted to, and we heard some of you guys, actually, I saw this in the comments, some of you guys are talking about, hey, I hope he's going to be okay with what's going on with the Allen police situation. I'm like, what? So, again, more information on what happened with that, and now we know. Baby, why don't you break down what's going on? Michael Irvin is the subject of a unknown accusation per police reports.
Yeah, so it's very bizarre. His lawyer saying, quote, obviously we asked the question to the police based on a tip that there's something going on. Saying that Irving vehemently denies the unspecified allegation and that there's, quote, absolutely no truth to it. But the whole point is, well, what even is the allegation? It's a little bit bizarre, right?
We'll get to that in a minute because we got Eric Wallace now, part of the membership in the Navy Blue crew. But tell me why, baby.
It's Roy Strassner. Roy Strassner. That gifted membership dropped there. Thank you so much, Roy. Appreciate you. And
yes.
Mr. MCF just said, you just got yourself another entry.
Another raffle entry. Just like that, giving love back to the family here to someone like,
giving the love and showing the love.
Eric Wallace. And by the way, Roy Strassner, with that drop right there, again, because he's in the membership, he's able to, only people that can drop gifted memberships are people that are in the membership already. So much love to Roy. Appreciate you. And now he's got 2, earned ones, plus the bonus membership. That's 3 raffle entries. And, hey, I've seen people win it with 1 entry. So, good luck, Roy. Appreciate that. And congrats to Eric. And also, big shout out to the man, Jason Renfro.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
who I just think
$3.60 Holly.
There you go, $3.60. I think he just went to again, I don't have the numbers to be exact, but he's either there, very close, or just went over to a new raffle entry for himself as well with that drop. What did he say with that $3.60?
Start for that 6. Start Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Go Cowboys.
You got to get it. Hey, it started back in Detroit. Not in Detroit. Against Detroit. It started with Detroit, Washington, to get us to this point, to get that 2nd seed. Now it's elimination style. Now it's not just seeding or placement. That's it. So let's get rolling, and let's hope that we can kick some Green Bay Packer ass at home on Sunday. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Roy Strassner. Big D with 84 points on that board. And baby, what else was said about Michael Irvin? I know he has some unspecified accusation, and he vehemently denies that there's and absolutely no truth to it. What else?
Yeah, he basically, his lawyer basically said, Michael hasn't done anything wrong, so I'm not even sure what the investigation could be about.
Investigation?
What?
I think he said investigation.
No, investigation.
Yeah, the investigation. They don't. So there's something going on, and they don't know what it is, but Michael Irvin's being looked at it.
And it's also very bizarre, because, usually, let's say, there is a case like this. You don't usually get a leaking of this type of information before the allegation has even, no one even knows what it is yet. How do you have details that someone's being investigated for a thing that we don't know what they're even being investigated for? Does that make sense?
Dallas Morning News stated that it's not common.
Yeah.
It's usually not a common thing for an investigation into a person to become public, like you said, without any details.
Yeah, we usually find out, Michael Irving's being accused of blah, blah, blah. Right. Not Michael Irving is being accused.
Yeah, and we don't know why.
Details forthcoming.
Yeah, it's they're making up the reason he's getting accused. I don't know. It feels like that sometimes. Either way.
Are the cops clickbaiting? Can the cops clickbait?
I don't know. That'd be... I'm sure not the first time that would have happened, right?
Oh, my, you guys are cracking me up. Nice try, Alan PD, right?
Yeah. Oh. Alan PD always... Hey, look, I'll let it go.
Must be a Giants fan in there.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, other NFL news, listen to this. The Washington Commanders, they have hired Adam Peters now, officially, NFC East, rival of ours. They have a new GM now. His name is Adam Peters. Where is he from? Well, again, this is the first of this offseason, or, their offseason, first general manager hire of any team for the new year here. And the Commanders are hiring this former 49ers assistant GM. All right. He is now their official general manager. And Peters won Super Bowls while working in New England and in Denver, has been in San Francisco since 2017, helped building one of the top rosters in the league for sure with San Francisco. They've also been to the Super Bowl, was it twice already since then? I mean, my point is they haven't won shit, but my point is that at least once they've been to the Super Bowl, with this guy helping build it there in San Francisco, built it in New England and in Denver. So now he's in Washington and doesn't realize he just shit his career away. Anyways, that's the situation there for the Washington Commanders. That they're trying to reboot their GMing and coaching squad there. Now, the Patriots, we know they got rid of, they fired Belichick yesterday. It's going to be Mike Vrabel. It's going to be this guy. We talked about a possible hire yesterday in Jared Mayo, one of their former players, but also assistant coaches. Well, officially today, without a bat of an eye, guys. Quick as can be, less than 24 hours later, a new era to the Patriots coaching has begun after Belichick is gone. AB, I guess you call it, after Belichick. The Patriots hired Jared Mayo, like we said yesterday, as their next head coach and will be formally introduced at a press conference next week. His entire professional football career has been spent with the New England Patriots. I'm talking about playing and coaching, guys. Drafted in the first round by the Patriots in 2008, played all 8 years of his career with the Patriots, then has been, their inside linebacker coach for the past 5 years. Now he takes over as a New England Patriots head coach, succeeding Bill Belichick. There you go. Good luck to Jaron Mayo, I guess, there. Now, playoff game. Playoffs are here, and they're here tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow is the first playoff game. The one that matters to us don't start. I won't give a shit about the other games, really, to be honest with you. But the NFL playoffs are officially beginning tomorrow. And you can see the games are slated to go.
That's right.
There's 2 of them. You got they're both AFC games there. So we're going to get, I think, what is it? The Steelers at the Bills and the Dolphins. No, I'm sorry. It's the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. I think that's the first one, kicking it off. But the later one tomorrow night is the Dolphins at the Chiefs. And that one, along with the following day's Bills game with the Steelers and Bills, there's some crazy-ass weather going down, guys. Weather forecasts are getting worse for the Dolphins at the Chiefs game and the Steelers at the Bills game.
Craziness.
Kansas City. Right now, and it's probably worse, I saw -2. Negative 2 to -4 is going to be the kickoff temperature. That's just the plane. That's not wind chill. That's not wind chill. That's not, in the shade.
It's just like the base temperature.
Yeah, base temperature is going to be -2 to -4 at kickoff. Wind gusts are going to be as high as 40 miles per hour. The wind chill, with the wind chill, all in all, expected to be in the low with the wind chill is about -35 degrees. Even my voice sounds chilly there, guys. It's crazy. Kansas City is going to be crazy tomorrow night against Miami. Miami ain't ready. I think Tua said he ain't wearing gloves.
Yeah, he's like, it's a mindset thing. I don't know what kind of mindset you need, but last time I checked, you can't just mindset your way out of frostbite. But you know what? They're not my hands. It's not my team, so not my problem.
Tua, good luck in that cold. Then we have the other game. Again, the Steelers at the Bills. Both teams used to this kind of weather, but not this kind of weather. Orchard Park. It's going to be 23 degrees at kickoff. But the crazy thing is the wind gusts are looking at around 65 miles per hour.
With these windy ass games.
We're talking about like tropical storm in a fucking blizzard kind of fucking stuff, guys. 1 foot of snow is also expected on through Saturday into Sunday when the game is there, the early game of the day. So, wow, we're gonna have a snowy night there tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a snowy night with Miami at Kansas City, and then a snowy early part of your day with the Steelers at the Bills, and then we get to the real game, the Cowboy game, on Sunday in the afternoon. So anyways, it's going to be high winds in Buffalo. Frigid wind chills and blowing lake effect snow all expected during the game. And again, before, during, and after the game. So it's not going to be like they can clear it up and it'll be cooler.
Yeah.
No, it's going to happen beforehand. It's going to happen during and after the game. Some people are saying that, it's impossible to play right now. They're going to have to play. They're not going to cancel it, guys. That's the way it goes in football. And, these all things are expected for this Buffalo game, including possibility for whiteout conditions before and throughout the game. So the overall snow totals are...
I just want to know who's going to go watch this game.
That's the killer. How are you going to drive to this thing? You can't even drive out there. So the overall snow totals are not like crazy, being a foot. It's still big, but it's not like crazy Buffalo standards. But the high winds will create close to, if not blizzard conditions in parts of that Buffalo region. So New York Governor Kathy Hochul, I don't know, declared a state of emergency for Western New York. Crazy, 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 guys. So it is going to be a wild card weekend, at least in the AFC and in the Northeast. The coldest games on record.
I've never been more thankful for AT&T Stadium and that second seed.
Hey, it's going to be freezing and maybe even snowing there. So, but it won't be anything inside the stadium. It'll be nice and cool there. So, there was a -1 degree game. Well, look, when you look at the wind chill, -1 degree, 23 below with the wind chill was the Giants beating the Packers to go to the Super Bowl in overtime. You guys, I know we all remember that one with the interception by Favre at the end of that game. And the Giants 6th seed went all the way to the Super Bowl and won it and beat the Patriots that year there. That was January 20th, 2008. There was a -6 degree game with the wind chill 25 below in 2016. It was TCF Bank Stadium, Minneapolis. It was the first round game in the playoffs. The Seahawks and Vikings. Seahawks won 10-9 in a freezing game there. But then you had, to me, like this is the coldest game in history by wind chill, and that is January 10th, 1982. It was negative 9 degrees, but it was 59 degrees below zero with the wind chill in Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Bengals dominated the Chargers 27-7. The coldest, kind of base temperature game there, it was negative 13 degrees in 1967, December 31st, 1967. You guys know that game. It was the Ice Bowl at Lambeau Field, where Packers got lucky, snuck in there. That, who knows if that was really a touchdown, and they won 21-17 over the Cowboys. That was a 48 below wind chill game as well. Second coldest with the wind chill. There's crazy numbers. These not going to break records, but it's going to be in the top 5, both these games, probably. Definitely Kansas City game is going to be a top 5 in history when it comes to cold. And the Buffalo Bills with the snow. So you got one with snow, one with freezing temperatures. I mean, It's going to be crazy. I will say this. For the Packers, and I'll say this in a quick way because it kind of involves the Cowboys, obviously, but our opponent, the Green Bay Packers, they're having their own snow and their usual snow.
It's the equivalent of getting a flat tire and then pulling over, and then like a car pulls over. Oh, it just happens to be Dak Prescott who helped put your tire back on your car.
In Green Bay, there was somebody who was helped by quarterback Jordan Love, helped someone's niece out of a snowdrift. So they're happy with him right now out there. He did great help there on the side of the road. Somebody helping him out. The starting quarterback for this game, our opponent this week in the playoffs. So again, they're about to fly out. I'll talk about the weather there because in Green Bay, guys, the weather is blizzard as well. Imagine if we had to go to Green Bay, man. We would be in a blizzard game right now. So that's a good thing. The other problem is how they're going to get to Dallas because they're hoping it clears up. The guessing, the report is they're still going to be able to get there, but
it's still going to be tricky.
It's dangerous, yeah. So it's tricky, not dangerous, yeah. Tricky about. I agree with you. It's more of a tricky situation.
Yeah, and look, we know it. It takes time to travel. It's one of the reasons why road games can be, a little bit harder for some teams and things like that. So I'm assuming it might just mess with some of their preparation or whatever, because it might take them longer to make their way out of Green Bay, to get to Dallas.
Yeah, you got to remember, most, if not all, commercial flights out of the Green Bay airport there have been canceled for today or today's.
I kind of guess they'll have to rent a bus. To another location, maybe fly from there.
Last that was reported is that they're still scheduled to fly to Dallas tomorrow on their chartered plane at the normal time. So that still seems to stay the same, but weather is affecting a lot of games all over the place right now. Now, one other game I didn't talk about, which will be affected by rain, will be in Tampa, here right where we're living in Florida. But Tampa Bay at home against the Eagles this weekend. It's going to be rainy. We know about Jalen Hurts' finger, but now we also know about A.J. Brown's knee and his issue. He hasn't been at practice. He did not show up to practice again today with that knee injury. But he also today deleted all mentions of the Philadelphia Eagles from his Instagram, and he also deactivated his Twitter. So that means A.J. Brown's not happy at all in Philly, and it sounds like there's a bigger problem there than...
What do you mean? It sounds like a very happy Philly player.
I mean, I'm not upset, that's for sure, about this. So, again, playoffs, here we go. Now, when it comes to the best players in the league, baby, we just talked about the NFL Player Association having their all-pro team, which was nice and all. We had a bunch of our guys. No Micah there, but, these guys... It's just the players voting on themselves. And, we talked about how Micah got a little upset the other day about it, and he really wasn't. He was making a joke. Today, the real poll came out. The real AP All-Pro team came out. Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill, Fred Warner. These were all unanimous, 50 out of 50 votes for the Associated Press 2023 NFL All-Pro team. I don't care about the whole list. I care about which Cowboys made it. Just curious, right? You guys understand, guys, this is how they judge Pro Bowls. This is how they judge, not Pro Bowl. This is how they judge Hall of Fame. Like if you have a lot of these, they start to say, okay, you are a Hall of Famer. So here we go, guys. The Cowboys had 9 people chosen from the first and second team. There's only 2 teams.
That is highly impressive. That's a lot of players.
Yeah, guys. I mean, that is number 1 in the NFL, by the way. We have the most. Niners were second with 7. The Ravens had 6. The Lions had 5. And the Eagles had 4. Now, as far as first-teamers, we had 4 first-teamers. and 5 second-teamers. The Niners had 5 first-teamers and 2 second-teamers. Ravens had 3 and 2. I'm sorry, 3 and 3. Lions 2 and 3, and the Eagles had 1 first-teamer, 3 second-teamers. The names on the list. On the first team, guys, these are the big prestigious ones here. Zach Martin, for the 7th time in his career, first team All-Pro. So, or I guess it's not it has to be first team for him. It could be any All-Pro, first or second team. 7th time for him, for Zach Martin. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker, rookie year All-Pro. That's the top of kickers. So,
well deserved.
Deservedly so, right? You have C.D. Lamb. I mean, obviously not only a number 1 receiver for the Cowboys, but a number 1 receiver in the league, a top 2-3 receiver in the NFL. C.D. Lamb, they're saying he's one of the top 2 in the NFL, one of the top 3 in the NFL. So C.D. Lamb
nice to see
made
that
this
he
list.
made it as well. Yeah,
and the guy I called would do it. I know some of you guys will laugh at me, but Deron Bland. He's also a first teamer, and I had to.
I'm surprised, but not surprised. But the point is that he's done something that is not just extremely hard to do. Like you don't
and no one's ever
this.
done.
Yeah,
and with the 5 pick sixes in a season is, along with the 9 interceptions leading the league, that is enough to get Deron Bland one of the top 3 corners in the NFL.
And guess what? Amazing corners have been playing shitty teams for time immemorial here in this National Football League of ours. So it's not like other guys didn't maybe have the chance to do something even similar to that. That's what I was saying. It's still significant that he did what he did.
Yeah. And no matter what, again, that's why I said it, called it. He's again, I don't know if he's a first or second teamer, but he's a first teamer this time around. Cowboys second team Pro Bowlers here. Or I'm sorry, not Pro, second team All-Pro. Dak Prescott at quarterback. Tyler Smith, congrats to him. Tyron Smith, just stacking his numbers there.
Smiths.
Brian Anger at punter. He has, I think, a second one there. And, of course, the great Micah Parsons, who seems to be getting dissed left and right when it comes to these fucking awards. But this one hurts a little bit more. That one was the players voting it in, and he was, he's like, he said he wasn't that upset about it. This is the AP, this is Associated Press, this is the one that's really the one that's people judge for Hall of Fame stuff, right? And when you look at this, the fact that Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons were both off of the NFL players list, the ones they voted for, their All-Pro list, and now Micah getting, of course, Dak getting the second team, you can make a case for him for the first team for sure, but I think Lamar Jackson got that. To me, Micah Parsons being on the second team when it comes to this All-Pro list is insane. But
I have to admit, to me, that does feel almost like slander.
It does.
It is insulting, but you know what? Man, talk about starving the lion before the big match at the Coliseum, right? Like that's what they would do back in Roman gladiator days. They would keep the lions and the tigers and the bears hungry and fierce so that when you send them out there, they're only after blood. That's it. There's nothing else on their mind but feasting. And I have a feeling that this is just going to motivate Micah even more. Like, what better way to rub it in their face than go out there and getting, like, let's say, Super Bowl MVP, Micah, right?
That'd be awesome.
Right?
Now, let's talk about this. The 4 first-team All-Pros is tied for the second most in Cowboy seasons in single season when it comes to these honors. When it comes to these in our franchise history, guys. All right, second most. Only the 1969 and the 2016 Cowboy teams finished with more. We had 5 of them in those years.
And I was just about to say, I'm like, the last time we had a team that came close to being this good, kind of all the way around, was 2016, and even then, we weren't as complete of a team on all 3 sides of the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
As we currently are.
More experienced as well right now.
Of course,
much more experienced.
And that goes, and obviously, 90s notwithstanding.
Yeah,
I'm not counting
the most recent one you said,
yes.
So then Zach Martin, all right, and speak on him on this right now here because he is got his 7th, guys, 7th. First team. It's a 7th NFL AP All-Pro first team nomination. So all of 7 of these have been first team for Zach Martin. That's crazy. He has tied the Cowboys franchise record with 7 of them. Right, that joins Bob Lilly and Randy White He's the only other guys that got 7. He's the only player. He is one of only 25 players in NFL league history with 7 first-team, nominations. So, congrats to Zach Martin again having another Hall of Fame year. Now, we had another winner here in the mix that we kind of assumed he would be in there, and he was. CeeDee Lamb received 49 out of 50 possible votes, first place votes for the NFL AP All-Pro first team. So, again, I posted a video of him being, kind of getting told about it. He was just like, that person didn't like me. He must not have liked me, that one guy. So, again, CeeDee Lamb, congrats to him.
Haters.
I'm telling you, they're all over the place. Tyler Smith, though, listen to this. A lot of people were hating on that pick. I mean, we were unsure about it. It was depending on how the Cowboys utilized him was my kind of argument about that.
I feel like, let's be real, we were just upset because we thought they were drafting a Tyron Smith replacement.
True, exactly.
That was the bigger upset. Now,
Right.
It ended up that he, replaced Tyron Smith that first year, but we knew that wasn't the long-term plan. We knew that wasn't what he was there to necessarily do.
Well, he probably eventually do that, but he knew he was there to, initially in his career, play that guard spot.
Yeah, so I think that was, of course, our recent track record with offensive linemen hasn't been great, and I think a lot of us were also a little worried since it was a later pick as well, like, hey,
a later first round pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Clarify that. Yeah,
well,
because
I didn't
every
to.
you have to, because every lineman that's been picked outside of that first round has been average to bust.
I know, but
and every lineman we draft in the first round has been a Hall of Fame.
I know, but just in general, our first round picks at that time, we just hadn't been hitting with those later
Taco
first round
was still
picks.
fresh.
So that's what I'm saying. Most of us still were just a little trepidatious.
So, point being here, Tyler Smith, less than 2 years later, after being drafted, an All-Pro, second team, but nonetheless, guys, it's hard to get any kind of team, first or second team here. Tyler Smith being an All-Pro, deservingly so, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, very deservingly so. Major credit to I got to give extra special shout out to the Cowboys personnel department. Of course, Will McCLAY and Chris Hall, but more specifically, Klein Kubiak, who was the area scout who believed in his trajectory and kind of pushed it through McCLAY, and then they pushed it through the coaching staff there. So you got to give those guys a lot of credit, the scouts there that did a great job.
It's even better that we're keeping one of those gentlemen who is so active in acquiring the talent.
Yeah, we'll get into him. He didn't get there yet, but we're going to get into it. Now, that was Tyler Smith, another guy who made it, and I also posted his little 2 cents there when getting his reaction to getting the induction there and the nomination for the All-Pro. This selection by DaRon Bland, to me, is not as surprising as maybe for others, but I expected him to make it because it's all about stats when it comes to this. And his stats, to me, it's about the stats, and it's not necessarily always the right thing because Micah should be in this list. But because of stats, other stats, but the flashy stats, you don't get to see some of the guys.
It's crazy, though, because he had the most sacks he's ever had.
Right, it's not enough because other guys had many more than him. He was tied for 7th. What I'm trying to say is that DaRon Bland did something that nobody else did ever in the history of football and also led the league in interceptions. That's the kind of stuff that they look at, whether we agree or disagree. They don't care about the pressure winners in the league.
It is football history in some ways. So.
But it's just not. It's also the splashy flash, because 9 interceptions is not football history when it comes to in a year. He just happens to lead the season. He's just number one at that, getting picks this year. Yeah. So to me, it's an easy reason why he gets it over. Maybe other guys are better cornerbacks than him, more deserving of it, but he got the flashy stats. And that's why Micah is not on this first team list, in my opinion, and that's why he didn't get NFLPA list, top list there. But look, here's the thing: the All-Pro selection, the All-Pro selection of DaRon Bland. Okay, he was, he was not from Fresno State. He was not even invited to the combine, NFL combine. So impressive overcoming of things when it comes to DaRon Bland. Didn't even go to the combine. So. Now he's a first team All-Pro. So again, a lot of the league missed on him. I think he was drafted in the 5th round. Stephen Jones praised their West Coast scout Ross Wonschke, I don't know how to pronounce his name, for going and kind of being the guy who kind of pushed DaRon Bland in meetings. So you've seen two area scouts making big differences in getting two major guys like Tyler Smith and DaRon Bland, who are now both, on this All-Pro team, AP All-Pro team. Trayvon Diggs next year will be back, of course, at the Cowboys. DaRon Bland. I mean, both these guys are, also first-team All-Pros.
And
is
it
this
feels
the best?
like our front office scouting part of things has to win some kind of award specifically for being the team that's most successful at getting undrafted guys to,
these guys
low tier guys,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah, I mean,
to perform at the highest level. You know what I mean? Like, how many other people have 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders, undrafted guys, end up at such with such high accolades?
I agree, but when you're looking at DaRon Bland and Trayvon Diggs, who was drafted, Diggs in the 2nd round.
Well, obviously, I'm
Bland
not
in the 5th. No, but I'm specifically talking about corners here because we did have some misses with Kelvin Joseph and others. What I'm trying to say is, I know you're talking about the late round drafting stuff. I agree, especially undrafted. That all is Will McCLAY and Chris Hall and these scouts that push these guys, but even later round pick guys like DaRon Bland, right? 5th rounder, great find by Will McCLAY and crew. But my point here is Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland, are they the best duo of young cornerbacks in the NFL right now? Trayvon Diggs, he tied the team record for interceptions in a single season, Everson Walls' record. He's the first team All-Pro. In his 2nd season, and he has 18 career interceptions. DaRon Bland, he set the league record for pick sixes in a season. First All-Pro, he got elected to his first All-Pro team, first team All-Pro, also in his 2nd season. And he has 14 career interceptions, like Trayvon Diggs has the 18. So incredible numbers by both of our cornerbacks in just a few, I'd say 2 years each, or 3 years for Trayvon and 2 years for DaRon Bland.
Yeah.
So just pretty freaking impressive from our cornerbacks,
once
right?
Diggs is officially, back out there on the field, I have no doubt in my mind that they will be the best cornerback duo,
in the league
next year. Obviously, little asterisk on what exactly our defense is going to look like as far as who's leading it, maybe. With the whole Dan Quinn possible head coaching rumors continuing to swirl.
Yeah, and again, nothing new on that front, but when it comes to, to DaRon Bland, I also like to add him in there as I prefer him in the slot and find somebody on the outside. I know Gilmore might not be there next year, but I'd like to find a good, solid outside cornerback so we can keep DaRon where he's really even better, and that is in the slot position there, in the nickel cornerback position. Anyways, when you look at the rest of the guys on this list, I guess I'll finish up by saying some of the, I guess you could say the disappointments on the list. Who was snubbed, so to speak. Some people say snubbed. I mean, I think that's a harsh word for something like this. But I do believe there's 2 guys that we probably got to kind of at least bring up, at least make a mention of when it comes to who was kind of either not on the first team squad. And I say Dak Prescott, probably one of those guys who had an unbelievable year, MVP type season. And he received just 2 All-Pro votes for Dak Prescott. So that tied with Brock Purdy. Also, just so you guys know, even though we've had 2nd team All-Pros, we've never had a quarterback for the Cowboys as a 1st team All-Pro quarterback. Never, ever, ever, ever. I said this, yeah. Don Meredith.
Disrespect.
Was a 2nd team All-Pro quarterback in 1966. Roger Staubach in 1971, 2nd team All-Pro. Danny White in 82, even Danny White made the 2nd team All-Pro quarterback list there in 82. Tony Romo. Yeah, Tony Romo did it in 2014. 2014, Romo was the 2nd
no surprise,
team All-Pro.
Again, that was
he was up there.
Absolutely his best year in that regard.
And then you have 2023 Dak Prescott. 2nd team All-Pro. So again, all these guys, I don't even see Troy Aikman even on any All-Pro. He didn't even make an All-Pro list, Troy Aikman. So just saying, like out of all our quarterbacks, there's your list.
Crazy, all things considered.
Well, he wasn't a real stat guy though. That's the thing, and that's what they look for, stats. He still made the Hall of Fame, but it's those stats that they look at. And so Dak had the stats this year, and 2nd best in the NFC. That's what they're saying. 2nd best in the NFL, I should say. So,
although Hot Boy did ask earlier, he's like, how does someone get 2nd All-Pro to somebody that they have better stats than.
Yeah, it's
but
it's
I said I'm like NFL Magic. So anyway, and it's not like the NFL is the one deciding this either necessarily.
Yeah, it's the the Associated Press is doing this.
But yes, not even Roger the Dodger.
Not Roger. Not a first team. He was a second team, and that was in '71. So yeah,
it's actually kind of funny because all these great quarterbacks did at least make it to second All-Pro. So it's not like some of what they did wasn't recognized. It just seems like not quite enough.
Out of all the guys, Dak is just joins the group of Meredith, Staubach, Danny White, Tony Romo. Those 4 guys. Now Dak enters that group. Now, who's the other snub in this? Without question, to me, it's Micah Parsons. I mean, he's a game changer. Imagine if they didn't call those. Imagine they called some of those holding flags against the offensive lineman, and he would have got more sacks. Yeah, it would have changed the whole thing. But Micah Parsons had his best season. Led the NFL with 103 quarterback pressures. Had the most, by far, extreme double team rate in the NFL. He only received 22 votes out of 50 for first place. He also received 20 votes for second place. That trailed Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett had 40 for first place, 9 for second. TJ Watt had 32 for first place and 16 to second. So again, it's about the flashy stats, not what Micah does all over the field and how he changes the game. Exactly. So, again, 8 out of the 50 voters, 8 guys out of these 50 voters left Micah Parsons completely off the ballot entirely. That's insane. I don't know what world we're living in here. Micah Parsons led the NFL, again, in pressures with 103. He led the NFL with hurries, 69 hurries. He finished second in pass rush win rate with 27.5% pass rate. I mean, he won over one every 4 times, getting to the quarterback. And it was the most double-team player by far in the NFL. The AP voters don't care. You figure they're not just casuals. You figure they kind of know the ins and outs. Obviously, they're casuals, most of them. So thank you to the Associated Press. You know why? Because this is what's going to piss off. Even he already should be pissed. But this adds fuel to Micah's fire. Maybe to me, it's just whatever. I don't really care too much personally as a fan. I want to see a Super Bowl win. But for Micah Parsons, his peers said, you don't deserve to be on this list. And now the writers, now the writers are like, hey, you know what? You're a second, you're a backup. Woo, that's gonna
let people.
I like that.
What
Hell
it is
yeah.
that Micah Parsons is about. I'm excited to see how he responds to that because, like I said, he does his talking on the field.
Yeah,
Shout out, by the way.
I love that they're pissing him off.
To Mark Hosepian.
Yes. Big Mark in the house. Just saw it go through with the 5 on it.
You know what he said?
I know he took Big D down to 79 points on the stream, boss. What did Mark have to say?
I still say we are too hot and cold. Duran and Diggs are 100% studs, but look at these busts. Scott, Joseph, Wright, Jackson, Robinson, Lewis. The D-line is very similar.
Yeah, I mean,
Where did we draft Jordan Lewis again? Did we draft him that high?
Jordan Lewis was drafted in the 3rd round, I think he was. 4th round? 5th round? I'm not sure. I mean, I was trying to figure out what the names were. There's a lot of names you threw at me there. But, again, listen, Mark, I agree. This team we've always been hot and cold. We're the kind of team that they have to show it before we can believe it. That's just the way it is. But we also have to talk about the situation, right, with the team. And the players we have, the talent is there. But there's always going to be busts. A lot of teams have busts. And, again, I think that I can't sit there and look at Eric Scott Jr. as a bust, yeah, as a 6th round bust. I mean, okay. But I'm just saying, like, we got Donovan Wilson a couple years ago in the 6th round. So you're going to hit and miss with that stuff. You know what I mean? And every team's going to miss. I just brought up Kelvin Joseph, like he said. Nashawn Wright, I agree. Some corners you're missing with. Some corners you're hitting with. You hit with Trayvon Diggs in the 2nd round, right? Usually it's a failure round for us. You hit with Deron Bland in the 5th round. So it's just the way of the way of the world. The way the Cowboys do this, and Mark, you know the way the Cowboys do this. They throw a lot of darts at that board. Some of them fall off. Some of them hit the outside. Some of them are average. Some of them are rotational starters. Some of them become very good players. Some of them superstars. But the more darts you throw, the more chances to hit. I'm not saying I agree, but Mark, this is the way the Cowboys do it. That's it. It's the way it is. Very similar across the team, not just on the D-line, because that's the way the Cowboys do it. They just throw the darts and hope some of them hit, and some do hit. We got to give credit for when they hit. But because they rely so much on the draft, that's where I think the Cowboys have to, they do a great job in scouting the undrafted guys. That's all Will McCLAY and Josh and Chris Hall.
Yeah, but Smuddy said Dak, Tyron, Tank, and Micah all got snubbed big time. And that's the problem. Tank is having the best season ever, basically, of his career outside of his huge stat-filled season. But he's not putting up the pretty stats. Right? Like, it's
right, it's
hard.
run stopping and pressure.
Again, my dream is that one day we do get better stats to kind of reflect the type of things that defensive linemen and offensive linemen do. But they're still not the sexy stats. So it doesn't matter how many metrics you want to throw. People want to see the sacks. People want to see the interceptions. People want to see the fumbles. People want to see the big passes. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we know why some stats are weighted higher or more so than others. So it sucks that these guys are playing at such a high level. But to me, at the end of the day, there's only one stat that matters even more than all this shit, and that's a Super Bowl. Right. Because when you're playing like that and you can do that consistently, right, Mark? Because that's what we're asking for, consistency from this team. Play consistently like you have been at home. We might be able to pull something off we haven't been able to do in a while.
And that's a big if, though, right? We have to show it, prove it.
Of course.
We've shown it this year, but we got to do it now against, again, we beat 3 good teams at home, 4 good teams at home this year. Mm-hmm. No doubt you cannot deny that, right? I mean, above 500 teams, 3 of them are playoff teams. We beat them. 2 of them by, one of them we beat by over 20. So, look, 2 of them we beat by over 20, the Eagles and the Rams. What I'm trying to say is this, and I've seen some of the comments you said about guys like that got snubbed. Mm-hmm. Who was some of the names there? Tank.
Let me see. Dak,
Tyron,
Tank, and Micah.
Somebody's always going to get snubbed. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Tank deserves it because he's not going to have, like you said, maybe the flashy enough stats to go along with the solid kind of play he brings to the table. So, look, this is not the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is easier to get in. I can understand some stuff. This is really tough. You only have like 3 or 4 spots for each position, and that is it. This is the top of the top of the top of the season of by position of players. So the fact that Micah is not, he's at the bottom rung of this is a surprise to me. And you can make a case for some of these other guys, but there's obviously other great players in the NFL that are also high on these boards as well, and very much in the same spot as someone like DeMarcus Lawrence.
I know.
So. Oh, and Mark drops another one. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. And he's officially, again, added another raffle entry to his totals. What did the man say, Mark Hosepian from Hawaii, repping that star over everything?
My point is, where has it gotten us in 30 years? We need to change. I'm afraid we'll beat some okay playoff teams, then lose, and Jerry Jones will keep everything the same. I have to disagree with you, Mark. If you listen to what we've been talking about throughout this week, and even some comments from last week as well by Jerry himself, and also reports from official reporters and things like that have come out since then, pretty much letting us all know Jerry has made it pretty clear it's NFC Championship or bust, that one single playoff win is not going to be enough for him to feel satisfied here. And let's be real, even 2 playoff wins is not going to necessarily do it, especially when, let's also throw this out there, coaches like Bill Belichick are technically floating out there available for the interviewing. So all that type of pressure builds, and I think Jerry is finally like getting to a point where he's like, nut up or shut up, Cowboys.
Well, I kind of agree with both of you guys on this because look, first of all,
Mr. MCF being the neutral Switzerland for once.
Because you're both right and wrong, I guess you could say, in the sense of like 30 years of this. I mean, it's been a lot worse in these 30 years. We haven't won a Super Bowl, but it's been 30 years of bad management. It's gotten a little better, at least the last. Will McCLAY at the helm. Will McCLAY as the GM. He's not GM, but he's basically running the draft here. So, Look, to me, I think what Mark is saying is that we're gonna. And here's where I think the fact that the Cowboys should beat a team like Green Bay Packers in Dallas. I've been saying this for about the last fourth of the season. But home field matters more than the opponent we're playing. I know Mark might disagree, I'm sorry, we disagree. But to me, we could play the Niners in Dallas this year, and we would probably, I know we have a real chance to beat them, then let's say, an outside chance to go to San Francisco and beating them. So I'm not afraid of any team in this league. I know we can beat any team in this league, even the good teams, because we beat good teams that are playoff teams by 20 or more points.
Yeah.
We've beat good teams in the playoffs by coming back on them or by pulling out we push forward and be able to go the extra mile, so to speak, that we are not able to do on the road against bad teams. So to me, it's more about, of course, the better team, the tougher it is. It's about home team. So to me, I think what Mark is saying is that he even expects the Cowboys to beat the Packers. He even expects the Cowboys to beat the Lions in the second round. Let's just assume they get there, or the Bucks, or the Eagles. That'll be the opponents we'll probably at most can face. So what he's trying to say is that, and I agree, we should beat both those teams at home. But you get to San Francisco, that could be a different situation, much more difficult. And then now maybe, quote unquote, the true team shows up, right? When we cannot get that over that hump. I'm not saying that, Mark. I do think that is where the challenge lies. I also think that if the Cowboys can put it together for one game, it's a one-game thing once you get there, and they can. I know the Cowboys can. If they could put it together, you could pull out a win that takes you to the Super Bowl. Now, Niners could also lose to the Rams in the second round there. Then we got them coming to Dallas, whoever it is, the Rams in Dallas, whatever. I think then Mark would agree that could be a Super Bowl for us. Or going to a Super Bowl. So it's about having the chance, Mark. If it cost us Dan Quinn, it's going to cost us Dan Quinn anyways. I think Dan Quinn's gone. Even if we lose tomorrow,
win or lose, he's gone.
We go to the Super Bowl, we win, he's gone. We get knocked out the first round, he will be gone somewhere else. Even McCarthy being gone, I think he's going to Seattle. So we got to stop hoping for that pipe dream and just let the chips fall where they may. This is the best chance the Cowboys have. This is the best team, the best coaching staff, the best team combined, right? I know we have better coaches, but this is the best coaching squad. And I say Parcells is the better coach that we had in the last 30 years after Jimmy Johnson. But this is the best team combined with coaching staff, combined with veteran players, and placement in the playoffs with the second seed that we've had since we won our last Super Bowl. Mark, I don't care about the coaching right now for the future. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm thinking about now. That's what matters here, Mark, now. And the chance to win a Super Bowl as a second seed, because we are a strong home team, is worth putting all the chips in and hoping for the best. Yeah, still an uphill battle. There's only going to be one winner, and the other 31 teams are out. But that's what you do this thing every year for. And that's the Cowboys right now are in the best situation they've been in for 27, 28 years to win a Super Bowl. That's a fact. I think Mark can agree to that, too. Anyways, and that's worth pushing through to see what happens. I don't care about Mike McCarthy, Dan Quinn, whoever the fuck ever, because McCarthy showed he can do a good job coaching. Not the greatest, not my favorite guy of all time, but he does a good job when he was allowed to take over to really kind of contour the quarterback situation of the offense and expand it. When he got the balls, he expanded it.
We'll all be in love with him if he wins the Super Bowl.
Of course, but that's a tough thing to do. But he's definitely improved the team when it comes to Mike McCarthy, no matter what we think here. He's shown that he's got something that helped this team in a real way, not just a Jason Garrett mirage.
Well, now, honestly, he has to go out there and prove it, though, because that's the point. He's done
in the playoffs. I agree.
In the regular
yes.
season, you're right, absolutely, 100 million, 10%. But it needs to translate to actual success.
I agree, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think that Jerry Jones is going to look at it as it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he's going to keep him no matter what. Is my point. And Quinn is gone no matter what. Is my opinion on that. Because of what McCarthy's done to fix the offense since the bye week.
Yeah.
I think that's why Jerry Jones is sold on McCarthy. He has 1 year left on his contract. It sounds like he's going to stick to that. Anyway, I'm not saying I want to do all these things. I'm saying that's what it looks like to me. And I cannot, if it was 2 years ago, I could be like, this is bullshit. But McCarthy has shown something this regular season. Let's hope he shows it in the playoffs where it matters most. No, I see the man, Mark Hovsepian, moving up this board quickly, adding raffle entries for this big raffle at halftime of the Green Bay game per the Lunatic. One of these jerseys he may be winning, but baby, as he takes Big D to 69 points on a Fan Friday. What did Mark have to say with that $5 holler?
If we beat Green Bay, McCarthy stays, Dak at $60 million, and Quinn leaves. If we lose, we keep Quinn and get better money for Dak. Green Bay, Tampa, Philly, Rams have big issues. Detroit is better. Honestly, I don't give a shit how much money we end up paying.
Yeah.
Next, like,
I don't care.
If we lose, forget it. And like we said, stay or win or lose, Quinn is gone. If we lose even more so, he's not going to stay.
My question is, why are we trying to lose when we have a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl? Mark, what's going on with you, bro? Come on, my guy. I love you, but you got to get it right. What do you hope we lose? That's stupid. You want to win. When you got a team that has 2 games, you could go to the conference championship game. You could be a top 4 team, and you're saying that's not good enough for you to even have a chance to go into the Super Bowl? Come on, Mark. I mean, I know you're a fan, but come on, man. Come on, Mark. I don't even know what to say to that, Mark. It almost sounds like you're hoping we lose unless we don't go to the Super Bowl. I understand what he's saying about Dan Quinn, but Dan Quinn's not the savior. He's not. I mean, I'm sorry. He's not the savior of this team. So what I'm trying to say is if we win or if we lose, McCarthy might still not get... I don't think McCarthy's getting fired.
I also don't think it's a guarantee that McCarthy stays if we just beat Green Bay. That's my whole point.
But it goes both ways.
Green Bay is not enough.
I know, but also losing to Green Bay is not the reason why we'll fire McCarthy. You got to understand, Jerry Jones already said some things that he's going to stick to. So if we lose and we keep McCarthy, what's the goal? What's the goal there? We lose Quinn anyway. I think we know we're losing Quinn.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Quinn's gone.
We win a game. We beat Green Bay, get knocked out in the next round. We get knocked out by Green Bay. We go to the conference championships, lose. We go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. Whatever happens, Dan Quinn's going to Seattle. So let's stop losing for Dan Quinn.
And if not,
let's start
Seattle,
winning to get 6.
Else.
Yeah, let's start winning for 6. How about we do that? How about we start trying to win for 6 and instead of trying to do a whole new season, worrying about the money Dak's getting paid. Let's worry about we got 4 weeks. Let's win these fucking 4 games.
That's like postseason talk.
Yeah, you don't want. Yeah, you're too early on this, Mark. You don't want. We're a second seed with 2 home games if we keep winning, guaranteed to get to the conference championship if we keep winning. And possibly a home game in the conference championship, possibly a Super Bowl trip, possibly a chance for 6. And you're saying we're pussying out here? You're saying no? Let's lose and not have a chance for 6 to keep Quinn? Yeah, fuck that. You lost me there, Mark, on that one. Just being honest. But I would love your commentary on this.
Well, I mean, I kind of gave my...
No, you're not. I mean, a Mark.
Oh, okay.
Mark's commentary. I don't see the rationale on that. That's all.
Let's see Mark's response here in a little bit. But Aztec Aguilar 4 said, this is the best year to reach an NFC championship game. We are that talented.
Exactly. That's as simple as that. You just can't really...
Calvin Boas said, if we're in the wild card, it's kind of impossible to go to the Super Bowl.
Every team's in the wild card. What are you talking about?
Yeah, sorry. He said we're in the wild card. It's kind of impossible to go to the Super Bowl. It's impossible to go if you're not in the wild card. I don't get it.
I mean, yeah. If you're only telling me that the Niners and Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, why even bother playing? Shit. Let's just let them in. They have the best chance, but they didn't mean shit.
Now, Frame Ripper said, I think Mark is looking at the opponents and not so much the outcome. If the Cowboys make the NFC championship,
yeah, but who cares about the opponents?
Mark's real test won't come until the Cowboys
beat the Niners. And that's everyone. And that's the only test that we have to. That's the test that matters. I understand that, but we got to get there, right? We got to still win these games.
And until then, exactly. If that's the only test that matters, then that means that we still have to do what we're supposed to do.
But the chance of passing that
test,
test,
then to get there.
If we have a 20% chance to win, a 40% chance to win, isn't that worth it? To go to the fucking Super Bowl.
Scorpio threw out there. It's too late to tank. We're all in it to win.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. It almost sounds like Mark is saying, let's tank. No. What the fuck are we talking about? We don't tank. If we were the 5th seed, I'd say it's going to be this is not realistic.
Yeah, you know whose problem it is next year to figure out all the money stuff and the cap stuff? Not ours. And you know why I say that? Because what we want is a Super Bowl. Like, let all those problems come next year if when they come, if we get to that point. Like, it's suffering from success. That's fine. We want a Super Bowl. Yeah. Right? Like, Dak can get $100 million at that point a year. Yeah, we want a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
That's the last of our worries on that.
Quinn could go coach whatever team he wants. We want a Super Bowl. Right? McCarthy will stay here for 30 years. Well, we want a Super Bowl.
You know what I mean? I know what
exactly. I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but my point is that yes, we will have to suffer the problems of what winning a Super Bowl implies when it comes to paying our big name guys, when it comes to losing a lot of coaches, losing a lot of talent from this team too. that will just inevitably go other places because we can't pay everybody. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
if we win a Super Bowl, all of it will have been worth it.
Right, and the only time, just because you're the first seed, don't guarantee you to win a Super Bowl. Just because you are one of the top seeds, the whole regular season, I mean, anything. All I'm saying is that
anyway,
you can't go into a season saying, if we don't win this, if we're not the favorites to win the Super Bowl, then we should just we want to protect all of our players, our money, and our coaches. That's dumb. We got to sit here and say, we got a second seed. We could possibly in the top, if we do what we're supposed to do, we're one of the top 4 teams. We're one of the top 4 teams in the NFL, and we got to win 2 games to get that 6th ring. We're 2 games away if we do what we're supposed to do now in these first 2 games at home. Yeah, you don't just let it slip away because you're worried about Dan Quinn. That's out the door. There's no way I accept that ever. I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to play pussy ball. And let's try to keep Dan Quinn so we can start over and be, and go what? 9-8 next year? I'm just saying, like, what the fuck are we talking about here? So, anyways, guys, family, Micah Parsons in this thing, pissed off for this playoffs after getting, kind of snubbed the 2 different places there when it comes to this.
No surprise.
Now, I do want to keep it rolling. We're going to be here till 6 in the morning, baby. 6 in the morning, cops at my door. Because we got to talk about a move that went down today. You see it in my title there. The guy who runs the drafting show, who does the scouting, who helps some of the GMing, Vice President of Player Personnel, Will McCLAY, guys. Getting a lot of requests from a lot of different teams to be their GM with the title GM. He's never going to get that in Dallas. He's remaining a Dallas Cowboy, guys. Again, this is like the 8th time this has happened, and everybody wants him. Houston trying to get him. Panthers trying to get him. For Washington, I mean, everybody's out there trying to get Will McCLAY.
Yeah, no surprise.
And Jerry Jones just goes cha-ching, and Will McCLAY gets another $1 billion a year, which is great. The point is, he was supposed to interview with a bunch of teams. He chose not to interview with any team. He was supposed to interview with Washington and the Chargers. They had sought permission to meet with McCLAY. The source said, quote, he is very happy with being here in Dallas. And that was that. So McCLAY ain't going anywhere. And after that, baby, I think that Will McCLAY had a kind of an official statement on his decision to not only remain with the Cowboys, but not even bothering to interview else. That's how good that cash money Jerry is getting, is giving Will McCLAY. So what did Will McCLAY say about officially staying in Dallas as our Vice President of Player Personnel?
I talked to a couple people, but I didn't want to waste anybody's time. I am committed to being here. The commitment I made to my son and the organization, I'm going to roll with it. I have another year left on my contract. I think it's just a process. When you're somewhere where you enjoy and you respect and trust the work of other people around you, it's really hard to beat. With what we have set up with the pro staff and the college staff and the way we find players and our process and belief in it, the coaches working with us and the ownership support, we all work for somebody. I'm just happy with the way we do things, and I look forward to trying to continue to build it that way.
It feels like the process that's been built in Dallas is a lot to do with Will McCLAY. He knows the process. He's used to it. He works well with them. Everybody works together. The only time I'll say trust the
process and not feel gross about it.
And not feel Garrity about it, right? You say trust the process.
Let's be brand trusting the process to this.
Well, yeah, trust the process. Will McCLAY is great. When you say trust the process, what we used to do is the orange carroty guy. That's my boy there, Cowboy Thomas. But I'm just saying, like,
not sure how old.
He looks like Jason Garrett.
Yeah, but not sure how old Will McCLAY's son is. But yes, his son, one of the commitments he's talking about there is to his son. He promised him he would stay until he was done with high school and that he wouldn't move.
No,
so
did not know that.
Not sure how old his son is. I'm guessing old enough to
have roots and friends and stuff.
Promise. So I'm gonna guess middle school, high school type of age range.
But I also think if he was getting I think the money Jerry Jones is giving him is making the answer very easy too, right? It's not just his son.
Look, we know there's we know there's a variety of reasons why Will McCLAY is perfectly content with not having that GM role officially on the title, right? And it also sounds like whatever his process is, it's not like it's built overnight. It sounds like he has some deeply established roots with this process. So even restarting it somewhere else, it's not going to be immediate. It's going to take a year or two, maybe a little longer, I don't know, for it to really truly bear fruit, because that's kind of how fruit works. You got to wait for the tree to grow, and you got to wait for the fruit to grow too. And that's how drafts work sometimes.
We're talking fruit here.
I'm just saying,
some
fruits are ready faster than others, right? Like
some are too ripe.
Just
Not
saying,
ripe
and
enough.
some take a little while. Anyway,
we get it. So Will McCLAY stays, and that's great news. But it wasn't just his statement. It wasn't just his statement. It was also statements from other people out there, guys, like Stephen Jones, son of Jerry. Stephen Jones.
Stephen, son of Jerry.
Yeah, he had some comments about our vice president of player personnel, Will McCLAY, officially staying in Big D, announcing it in the whole 9 yards. So, baby, what does Stephen Jones say about the great Will McCLAY?
It's something that comes up every year because obviously he's a guy who does an amazing job for us. Obviously, we think the world of Will, always want him to be a Cowboy, but everything is always a work in progress. We'd love for Will to be here as long as we can keep him here. And of course, they were asked the famous question, is he ever going to get the title like GM? Steven said, I'm not into titles or anything like that.
Of course you're not.
I've never been a title guy. We're just going to keep doing what we do. It's working. Oh my goodness.
I laugh at that so hard. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but I'm not into labels.
Yeah, I don't want to label.
Right? I don't want to label what we have here
imagine,
as a marriage or relationship. I just think
just let it keep working out the way it's going.
Just vibes.
It's like, baby, imagine.
Like, you understand the deepness of the relationship we have, and that's all that I need.
That's all that matters. Yeah, sure. Listen, it's like, hey guys, think about this. Your boss, you're working and you're doing vice president work, right? But they're gonna call you janitor. Because listen, we like the way things are working. I don't get into titles. I'm the boss, but I don't get into titles. You're going to be called janitor, even though you're doing vice president work. You understand? That's what it feels like sometimes.
And of course he's not. It's
right. Of course, he's got respect on this. The vice president
but
of player personnel.
It feels like again, assistant to the assistant manager.
Just the way he put it about title. They don't care about titles, but Jerry Jones, all he cares about is titles.
Anyway,
he's the fucking GM. That's why.
There's only one title I care about.
The Super Bowl title. But Jerry Jones cares more about the Super Bowl, more than the Super Bowl. He cares about being the official GM title, right? I mean, He will not give up the GM title, but they don't care about titles. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Anyways, Will McCLAY is the man. Now, also, when we get to Mike McCarthy, he's going to speak here in a minute, but he spoke as well, Mike McCarthy, about this. After hearing about finding out that Will McCLAY is staying in Dallas. What did Mike McCarthy say about Will McCLAY?
He's very important to our operation, without a doubt. The most important thing to want as an organization, when you know things are right, is to build off the consistency. Very happy for Will personally, because I know the amount of work that he puts into this, but this is obviously great for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, it is. And even though if he's not perfect, even though some of them haven't, some of the freaking front office and they listen to, what's his name, from the Marinelli to get Taco over,
I was just about to say there's
Will McCLAY said TJ Watt is who he wanted. So
there's always the human factor, right? So
there's always going to be mistakes.
When you have picks, and let's say about, it's a 60-40, right? 60% of them actually do really well. About 40% of them don't do as expected. Of that 40%, about half of them is what I would like to call human error, right? So like you said, a Marinelli situation where someone stepped in and just, made the wrong move or chose wrong.
Taco, Tristan Hill.
Heck, right now you could even say Schottenheimer maybe, in the sense of we chose wrong. There was someone else there that we had on our board that we could have gotten and we chose wrong. And the other half of that is human error on the side of sometimes these players have personal situations a la Kelvin Joseph, right? That just, turn them into bigger situations on top of their lackluster performance on the field, right? It's you end up with a player who's failing to develop or struggling to develop, and they're having shenanigans off the field where it's you can tell they're not taking their football seriously, So it just, I don't know.
Things happen sometimes. You can't control it all, right?
Exactly. So, there are also just to bring up the Taco thing again, there are also rumors that he also didn't take his football as seriously as he maybe should have.
I agree. So. I mean, there's a lot of falling
but you get my point.
Tristan Hill as well.
It's a multifaceted issue, exactly.
Tristan Hill fell asleep in meetings in his rookie year.
Exactly. So the human element there. Will McCLAY can't hold up Tristan Hill's eyeballs.
Exactly.
I mean,
or push them to do,
cool.
or push them both to do, him and Tristan Hill to do, Chaco and Tristan to do more, right?
Yeah. Jeff Coughlin said, "Mozzie, I'm willing to,
well, keep it
hold out for Mozzie.
I'm holding out for all these first year guys, like I did with Jaden Tolbert, or Yeah, Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
I did last year. I said, let's wait to see him without Kellen Moore and see a little easier system. By
Shout
the
out
way,
Big D.
you see why I put this up on the screen, right? Mm-hmm. The Lunatics raffle, because right there, every $10 you get a raffle entry. Guess what just happened? Big D just turned it on, put the $10 holler in there. He said, what did he say?
Another brick of cheese went missing in Wisconsin. But Big D said, F the Packers and go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. He was just up to he pushed it back from 69 to 79 points in the stream boss because he is the boss of the stream. So by doing that, he goes up. He can put points back up, and he was growing. He just went down to 78. Terrence Steele after welcoming in.
Yeah, HG Wells.
Yeah.
Thank you for summing it up.
To the family. So thank you, HG, and go Cowboys. So Big D, much love. By the way, another big little move here for Big D. When you see the overall board going by there, Big D just jumped a couple of people, baby. He jumped Calvin Williams, Smokey, and he's now in second. And Skeptical Fan, he's in second place on the overall board behind Marissa Sparkle. So right now we got Big D right there closing in on first place on the overall board. 78 points in the stream boss.
Woo.
Much love to him. And everybody else in the mix here. Guys, adding to those raffle entries. Again, first, second, third, fourth, all 4 people are going to get their names chosen. Whoever the 4 winners are is going to get one of these sewn and stitched jerseys, and of about 40 different choices to choose from. Large collection. Much love to Mosh's jerseys. And extra special shout out to the Lunatic. Good luck to everybody in the raffle. And congrats to Big D. Adding up another one in the mix there and going up this overall board. So, anyways, yeah, I think you finished everything that McCarthy said about Will McCLAY. And I think we any other comments there about...
I mean, yeah, we do have a few points here, right? Hotboy95 said, it's crazy to put 28 years of bad coaching and bad front office politics on this era of a team, period.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Johnson Cowboys said, some players have fallen to us because of other teams' needs, like CD and even Parsons because of rumors and behavior.
Agree.
So
agree. I mean, that stuff always changes. It goes both ways, though, right? I mean, Dallas Goedert was taken because Jason Witten was retiring.
No, of course.
The Eagles stole him from us.
No,
I picked before. So.
But again, it's just, again, we still could have chosen a different way or gone another way, right? Because we obviously had someone in mind assuming this person would be gone. We still made the right choice there thanks to, well, hopefully just having eyeballs in our heads. But yeah, well, obviously we give McCLAY a little bit of credit there as well. But hey, look, everybody needs a little bit of luck. And the things we can control are the ones that, we weigh a little bit heavier in those decisions.
I'm saying Hot Boy, when it comes to the, people just get mad at everybody who's here now for all the mistakes of the past. That's unfortunate the way it is. But yeah, I agree.
South, what's up? GM said, does the NFL make refs call the holdings on Micah? No. And they can't
not yet.
either.
They haven't yet.
But HGL said, losing is not a Cowboys option.
It's not. That's why you got to go. You're in the second seed in the NFC. You got to go. And you're a hot team at home.
You got to go for it.
You got to go for the Super Bowl. There's no even questioning that or doubting that. You got to hope this team plays as consistent as possible, especially we can have some falterings at home because we'll rebound at home. On the road, we can't fuck up. Big D again hitting that $10 holler.
Woo.
Adding another raffle entry, baby. He's like 6, 7, 8 back on Marissa Sparkle in first place. And, I mean, again, it's adding another 10 to the board. He's at CD Lamb. 88 points on the stream boss. I mean, shit. If he topped that out with a Roger Staubach $12 holler, he would add another raffle entry, start adding to another one. I think he'd be 3 away from another one. And he'd be first place on the overall board. Big D in the place to be. A little big takeover from the man. Appreciate you. What did he say?
God damn. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. You know
Woo.
it. Hell yeah. Just the biggest consistent thing throughout the last 28 years of losing, my friends, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Some people might not want to hear it. They don't want to say it's Dak. They want to say they don't want to take it out on McCarthy. It's one consistency, and it's the clown show. And I should really take away Will McCLAY from that mix. So he's the one of the guys that are holding us afloat at times from these 2 idiots making mistakes. But at least this year they did a little bit better, I would say, the clown show, and not completely fucking shit up royally. They've helped the team more than hurt it this year, even though they could have done other things to help it even more. Let's just be honest. So anyways, real quick, baby, let's get back on track here, because interesting little comment here. Dak Prescott's the quarterback of the Cowboys. We're set in stone. He is like our third best statistical quarterback in history, Barry Church, former Cowboy, revealed that Jason Witten was a key, final, deciding factor for Dak Prescott to take over. This is Tony Romo's buddy, Jason Witten. They went on vacation together. Tony Romo went. And Jason Witten said Dak should keep this starting spot. He said, basically, this is what Barry Church said. Quote, Witten said, this is Fours Go. This is Dak's squad, end quote. So,
but I mean, hey, but you know what? Witten was telling the truth because he's the one in there inside that huddle and in that locker room and in that team.
Every game.
He's basically trying to say Dak won this team. If you put Tony in here,
they're not going to follow him through as much.
They're not going to exactly like this. He's not the one who led the charge here, unfortunately, and it's not like he's trying to put down Tony Romo. It's just a reality of what Dak did, the work that Dak,
and not to backstab. He wasn't backstabbing Romo. He just did what he does as a player, and it was enough to win over the team that quickly, that well over someone like Romo. So Romo was never really, I guess you could say, maybe a team guy in that way. We know that, though. We know he had 2 or 3 friends.
I have a very hard
T.O.
time.
said that about Romo during those years of issues, right?
I know, but let's be real. There's maybe only 1 or 2 quarterbacks that you might want back in a situation like that. If you have a backup quarterback that's on such a hot streak and your starter comes back, I think any team would be wise to carefully consider what that decision looks like. Again,
it's crazy though when you have a Romo who is so loved, the guy of the team, and his third stringer comes in and takes over the heart of the team. That's what Dak did that faster than Romo did that in his entire career.
I think the point
that shows me something about
a
Romo.
Quarterback who actually has the room, their team wouldn't, their team's heart wouldn't be stolen, so to speak.
Exactly. Exactly. Now you got it. I think we all got it now.
Trying to say you can't steal a girl that doesn't want to be stolen.
Exactly. And listen, Romo was ready to be stolen. I mean, Dak, not that Dak was to be stolen, but it was more they're ready to move on from Romo's attitude as far as the way he conducts himself with the team.
Yeah, but Ruben said it would have gave Romo a last chance. I think the point is that it's the Dallas Cowboys, and it's about what's best for the team, not necessarily what would be nice to do for Tony Romo.
Yeah. In the locker room, maybe you said it. What Jason Witten said in the locker room, in the huddle, I mean, the control of the team was what Dak didn't say, I'm going to go steal this from Tony. Yeah. He's like, I got to play well to help this team. And the team was lockstep with him. It wasn't like that with Romo. It was not with Romo that year. That year was not with Romo.
I know. 2016 had a little bit of magic to it.
2014.
It sucks that it ended the way it did.
Yeah, 2014, Romo had the team.
Yeah.
But 2016, Dak took that team by just the way he is. Not by any malicious intent, is the point, I think. So anyways, Witten backing that up. Got to give it up to him, right? So now let's talk about this game as we're getting to the matchups and figuring things up. The Cowboys, when we play the Packers on Sunday, we will join now this will be a 4-way tie for the most frequent playoff matchups in NFL history. 9. We have 9 times we played the Packers. The others all involve, the other games that are tied for the most ever, involve either the Cowboys or the Packers. The other matchups with 9 games, the Rams versus the Cowboys have been played 9 times in the playoffs. The Niners versus the Packers have been played 9 times in the playoffs. And the Cowboys versus the Niners have been played out 9 times in the playoffs. So again, the Cowboys and Packers also now 9 times in the playoffs. We've seen each other a lot. Now, what about the last 5 games the Packers have beat the Cowboys since 1996 when Dak beat them in Green Bay. But look at the last 10 games. The Packers are 9-1. That 1996 game was the only time we beat the Packers in the last 10 tries. Over a decade. So, again, that was the only win. Week 5, 2016, in Brett Favre Day, where Dak Prescott embarrassed the Packers and won that game and helped win that game over Aaron Rodgers. But outside of that, we haven't beat them in the other 9 games in the last 10. We haven't beat them. The Packers are 9-1 against us. So this is a big streak we got to break. We got to cut this shit off, and this is one of those slaying the dragon moments. We did it with Brady. Let's do it with the Packers. Much love to Calvin Richard in the house, dropping that 5 on it. Calvin Richard moving up on the board. Well, he's not moving up. He's moving up, and he's getting closer. I think he's 3 or 4 away from another raffle entry. Much love to Calvin Richard with the 5 on it. What did he say?
No reason the Cowboys shouldn't blow these guys out. relax. The boys got this. So I
don't relax about any playoff game.
It's like if this is not like, to me, it's like playoff time is the no chill time. It's hard to have any chill at all whatsoever, just because the stakes are so high.
Yeah.
You know, you either win or you lose, and that's it. There's no in between.
You either win or the season's over.
I absolutely agree that we should beat this team,
yes.
but it is also never, ever guaranteed. We never know the team that's going to show up.
But at home we know.
I know. We have
at home we know this team shows up better,
yeah.
stronger, and ready to kick some ass. So hopefully we continue that, Calvin. And hey, I'm with you, but every game is a one. It's a one, or it's you win it or you're out. Your season's over. You restart. That you got to come in with that mindset of desperation, of knowing that this is it, and let's just keep winning. So that hunger that you just never can see an L. So listen, this week, of course, is Monday's Martin Luther King Day, and celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King this weekend, and for the playoffs, every NFL player will wear a helmet decal that'll say "Be Love" and MLK during the wild card games. Also, in the end zones, they'll be stenciled in "Be Love" and "It Takes All of Us." You know, this is just some of the NFL doing their part in things here. So for Martin Luther King Day, a great day it is. So again, we're going to have that celebration all weekend long through all 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, Lambeau Field, just before 11 a.m. Central Time today, baby, was a winter wonderland. It was a blizzard, white field. It was just you couldn't play football, guys. That's what was going to happen in this game if we were playing in Green Bay for whatever. Some people said, let's get that 5th seed. Now, we would have been playing a different team. We would have been playing Tampa Bay in the rain. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now we're in Dallas in our comfy confines where we play much better against even shitty teams. We play much better against the best teams. We play very well at home. So just be happy we're not in the chilly Green Bay, Wisconsin as an option for this week. But like I said earlier, Packers are scheduled still to fly out tomorrow to Dallas on their chartered planes, even though all the flights were canceled today in Green Bay. Now, Jerry Jones.
Obviously, they got special permission from the Storm.
Yeah. For the chartered planes. Well, I'm saying chartered planes.
I'm making
a
joke.
Yes.
Say, like, they got... Okay.
They were going to take a bus. No, they're not. They're not taking a bus. I don't know if they could drive out there and take a bus. That's when you screw up things. This is all important, though, to keep in mind. When it comes to, repetition and getting used to a routine, it's interesting I wonder how this affects the Packers, knowing that the flight could be delayed. We'll see tomorrow how this goes.
Travel is always a factor when it comes to playing any opponent, let alone a playoff opponent.
Yeah, so. And especially in the snow. So Jerry Jones had something to say, and he was on 105.3 The Fan, and he was talking about his anticipation for the start of the playoffs. He said, quote, "Man, I can't stand it, and I haven't slept. I can remember back when I was 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, shit. Much love right there. Congrats to the Orion Files, who's now part of the Navy Blue crew. But why is that, baby?
Because Roy Strassner gifted him a membership.
Much
shout
love.
out to you, Roy.
I got to put Roy on the board here. Yeah, Roy's got 2 gifted memberships here, making a run at the top and adding halfway to another raffle entry.
That's right.
Appreciate you. Congrats to Orion Files, but much love to Roy Strassner. When I get my stopping point here in a moment, I will add Roy to the board and make sure not only does he keep moving up this board, but also on the gifting board where he has 2, Jason has 3, and Skeptical has 6 right now on that side of things.
Moving
much
on
love.
Up.
Yes, much love to Roy Strassner in the house, repping that Navy Blue crew here.
Hey guys, drop them if you got them. The stinky cheese emoji.
Drop that stinky cheese. So as we talk about this stinky cheese, now for Jerry Jones, this feels like Christmas for him.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, man, I can't stand it."
Yeah, he said, "I can't." He's so nervous. He hasn't slept. He said, "I can remember back when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and Santa Claus was coming, and I just couldn't stand it. If you asked me what I wanted, I would just almost pee down my leg. I'd be so nervous to even say it. That's the kind of feeling I have here." God, your face just changed upside. You're like, this is all Christmassy. He's talking about peeing down his leg because he was so nervous.
Dog? like, and you know exactly what I'm talking about because, guys, my parents' dog, when she was a puppy, she always
peed all over.
Yeah, she would pee when she saw people. She gets so excited. She got so excited she peed. Like, is that what you are, Jerry? You're a freaking puppy who can't control his bladder out of excitement.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Navy Blue Crew member right there,
Go,
Roy Strasser. He said, let's just say go Cowboys with his monthly membership comment right there.
Appreciate you. And yes, that is quite the Jerryism there. I have to admit,
add it to the list.
They definitely get more. I think we need to start keeping some kind of a running list or something.
A little more Alzheimer every
not
single
just
time.
the glory hole list. Oh, but man, love some Jerry, said Jeff Coughlin. Spot, can he save me? Said yes, Jerry is a dog.
Jerry, yeah, roof.
Yeah, bark. Anyway, I don't know. That did catch me off guard. I'm sorry.
I can see your face change.
I thought he was just gonna say I'm just excited. I'm as excited as a kid on Christmas morning. I'm like, okay, I get that. That cool. That makes sense. Oh, I'm so excited. I pissed my fucking leg. What?
If you ask me about it, I piss myself and I can't sleep. I mean, that's what he was talking about. He's going back to...
Honestly, that sounds like some old man problems as well. Maybe you need to go back to Dr. Jerry.
But he's thinking about 7 years old, and I mean...
You're dribbling in your sleep.
Listen, Jerry, just basically what's happening right now, Jerry allowing Mike McCarthy to run the show a little bit more is making him piss his pants with happiness.
It sounds like Jerry also, let's kind of bring it back to more serious football. Seems like Jerry also has a similar excitement as to a lot of us. We feel like this is our best chance in a long time. The path to the NFC Championship has never been more clear, more direct.
With the team we have.
For us, all things considered, exactly. Like I said, 2016, as great and awesome as it was,
first seed and the whole thing.
It was an anomaly.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. But the first seed counted for the fact that we didn't have experience on this team.
Exactly.
This is an 8-year later experienced team, and we're the second seed. Carries a lot more weight, and we can do battle against a team like the Niners. Only needs that one time, that one game, that one time.
Yeah, we win the Super Bowl. Ruben said Jerry might shit himself.
Oh, Jerry will shit and piss himself same time. So, and that's fine with me. I'll probably do the same thing.
What?
Anyway, I'll just be happy. I don't know. It's just going to shoot out every single direction.
Wear a diaper for
during the game, yes, if the Cowboys are in it, because I don't know what's going to happen. Guys. Sorry for the. This is late night chat,
great.
Late night chat.
So glad.
Jerry Jones said a couple other ramblings. I'm not going through that stuff about peeing himself. No, he raised. He that's the important quote. He's excited about this game, and he's really on the edge of his seat now. Looking at McCarthy, he didn't really get to say what he said yet today. Jerry Jones spoke this morning. McCarthy spoke this morning, and of course for the press conference. But it's interesting to see the trait that he transferred over from Green Bay.
Okay.
Again, not because we're playing them, but his former team. Cowboys finished +10 in turnover differential, making that its third consecutive year that we've had a turnover margin of +10 or higher. That's the first time.
Nice.
First time in Cowboy history that we've done that. In history, no matter what coach or what team, first time we ever had a 10+ turnover differential. That means the offense not turning the ball over, and the defense is getting the ball. It's making turnovers. You guys feel me? We're the first NFL team to do that for 3 consecutive seasons since the Kansas City Chiefs did it in 2015, 16, and 2017. First time the Cowboys have done this in franchise history. But it is not the first time Mike McCarthy has done this in coaching history. This is that trait he brought over from Green Bay. He did this in Green Bay, and now he just turned it around. Listen, in Green Bay, a lot of 10+ turnover differential, +10 turnover differential seasons in Green Bay, and he's doing that now in Dallas. All right. So again, these are the things he does. He does bring over as a coach from Green Bay. The 10+ turnover differential situation consecutively. Home field advantage things, right? Very few back-to-back losses. Very few losing streaks. This is the trait of a Mike McCarthy. Through Green Bay, he's done this. How many times has he lost 2 or 3 games in a row in his career? Rarely.
Yeah.
He lost, I think, 2 in the last 4 years, two games in a row in the last 2 years. I'm sorry, last 4 years coaching us here. So again, home field advantage throughout a playoff, bracket, and having home field advantage throughout most of the games. That's something he's always set up his teams to do in Green Bay and now in Dallas. So again, these are the things McCarthy does. We talk about the shitty things. Gotta talk about the good things, right?
Of course.
Right. So
right now, again, more good than bad is the whole point.
Yeah.
That's why we're here in this position, even having this type of discussion, right?
I remember, last year saying a lot of things to you guys, and saying that I still think McCarthy is a guy that has some positive things that happened in that Cincinnati game, week 2, after losing Dak Prescott. I think McCarthy showed this is the kind of coach I am to Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
And that's why it was easy to get rid of Kellen Moore at that point, at the end of the season. So that was a big difference maker to me when it comes to the things I saw of McCarthy. And I'm glad that we did keep him around for that. So when you look at this game, McCarthy said about number 33, Aaron Jones, who I believe we heard Dan Quinn talk about Aaron Jones. The players, everyone's talking about Aaron Jones. So unless the Packers have some other game plan to get the ball in somebody else's hands,
Jones is the plan.
The Cowboys are definitely focusing on Aaron Jones, running back. McCarthy said this, quote, "I love his running style, the way he attacks the crease, no wasted movements. He's definitely someone when he's on the field, you better know where he is because he's also excellent out of the backfield." And I've said this the other day, he's a very good receiver out of the backfield as well. So, dangerous guy, number 33, Aaron Jones. We got to stop him, slow him down, whatever it takes. Now, that was,
Yeah, we got to keep our eye on the prize in that regard, for sure.
Now, what about injuries? Injuries are, of course, extremely important. And, we got injury updates here. About to discuss them now. McCarthy started off the morning, actually, and, into his conference, his press conference. Oh, whoops. Start talking about Stephon Gilmore. And basically, McCarthy said this on 105 through the Fan this morning, quote, "He's definitely playing through something significant."
Okay.
There's no question about that. But he did practice yesterday, and actually, when I was walking off the field with him yesterday, he said he felt great about playing with that shoulder harness.
Okay.
So I really look for him to be ready to go on Sunday.
Yeah, so again, it's don't think that he isn't like hurt or banged up or isn't pushing through a lot of stuff, but it's kind of like what Mozzie said Hankins.
Yeah.
When Hankins was asked the other day, like, "Oh, are you back at 100%?" He's like, "No one's 100% at this point in the season. Like, everyone's pushing through something."
Right, but he's putting through obviously the biggest injury currently. It looks like is Stephon Gilmore and Jerry, and again Steven. I'm saying Steven. They're done with Mike McCarthy. Then asked in his press conference later in the day after the practice about how these guys doing, and when it comes to Stephon Gilmore and also Tyler Smith, Mike McCarthy said he quote, "I feel good about both of them coming off all the heavy work from yesterday's practice on Thursday." So
that's great news.
He said it's so far so good for both these guys, for Tyler Smith and for Stephon Gilmore. According to McCarthy, both of these guys are expected to play against the Packers. You can't really.
I was gonna say that's about the best news you could have asked for.
I mean, the whole week, those are the two guys we're talking about. McCarthy seems very, very positive about things. After practice, we have the injury reports coming out for both teams, and we're going to start with the Cowboys. How did this turn out for us? So McCarthy did his 2 cents of talking and explaining things, and then we got to know about the injury list, see the practice report list. When you look at this list, guys, the Cowboys will have everybody available on Sunday versus the Green Bay Packers.
Good to know.
Except for one guy questionable, but I'll explain that in a minute. Tyler Smith. Right there. Tyler Smith, full practice today. No game designation. He is good to go. He will be starting at left guard for the Cowboys.
Again, that is about the best news you could ask for.
And you got to throw in there another guy. Stephon Gilmore. Today in practice, he was, again, limited yesterday. Limited in practice today. No game status designation for this upcoming game.
Again.
He's a full go, ready to play for this game against the Packers in the playoffs.
The news just keeps getting better and better.
Great news for both these guys. They're 100%. I mean, not 100%, but they're 100% going to play. They're not 100%, but they are.
Like I said,
playing.
no one's 100%, but exactly. They're 100%
playing through
available.
It. Yes, that's big news there. The other injuries on the list here, guys. Dorrance Armstrong with the ankle all week, full practice. He's good to go. We had Jonathan Hankins limited. Today was full, though. Okay. Limited all week. Today was full. No game designation for Hankins, which was the expectation. We knew this. Malik Hooker with the ankle, full all week in practice. No game designation. He is good to go. So who's the only guy that we might not have in this game? And this is gonna be interesting because you guys dropping a lot of the $10 hollers. Cooper Rush, guys, has an illness. It looks like the illness went through all the players.
Back in the quarterback
started
room?
with the quarterback at Dak, went all the way around the team, went to the offensive line. You know, you're taking the snaps on the offensive lineman, right, as a quarterback. I was thinking about that with Biotish. I'm like, don't get Dak re-sick. But now it looks like whatever the reason was, it looks like Cooper Rush is now sick. So Cooper Rush today today Cooper Rush was out of practice. He was fine all week. He did not practice today. He is questionable to be active for this game. But, baby, what does that mean? If for some reason he can't play, Trey Lance is our backup. I'm a little nervous for a second there when I said that.
I kind of was saying that way at the beginning of the stream just because I'm like, let's let the Trey Lance experiment happen next year.
And not in the playoffs.
In a regular game or something like that. Not in such a heavy situation. Of course, if Dak goes down, we have bigger freaking problems. But we know there's a variety of factors. Or even just a play or two. Who the heck knows? You never know. Not great. So hopefully Cooper Rush feels better sooner rather than later.
We'll see what happens. But either way, Cooper Rush may be the emergency quarterback.
Yeah.
This week. Who knows? I don't know. Guys, let's talk about the Packers injury list right now. All right. All those players I talked about all week getting back. There was 19 guys that were, in an injury situation here. Only 3 guys are listed as having any kind of issues here, all right? And they're kind of big names. You have 2 questionable guys and 1 doubtful player. A.J. Dillon, all right? Their other 2-headed monster running back with Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon is doubtful for this game. So, again, a guy who's going to be kind of taking some of the hits, taking some of the load, might not be there to help out Aaron Jones in the run game. When you hear doubtful,
great for Green Bay.
Yeah, when you hear doubtful, what does that usually mean?
Doubtful tends to err on the side of not playing.
Yeah, like 90.
Questionable tends to be obviously a little bit more of a chance.
Yeah, but doubtful is like 99% chance you ain't playing. So it doesn't sound like A.J. Dillon will be playing this game. Listed as doubtful right now. Tomorrow they might even say he is officially ruled out. We'll wait and see. 2 guys are questionable, and these are big players on offense and defense. Along with A.J. Dillon at running back, you got starter Christian Watson trying to come back from that hamstring injury.
Yeah. Limited
all week. Receiver with a hamstring injury, you got to be really in good shape there. So we'll see what happens. It's not going to be cold. So it's going to be cold, but of course it's indoors. So that might not make as much of a difference. But he is questionable for the game. Something to keep an eye on when it comes to their starting receiver Christian Watson, who killed us when he played them last year.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is on defense, and of course it's Jair Alexander. They're number 23. They're number 1 cornerback. Shoulder, ankle injury, limited in practice on Wednesday, but then took a downturn on Thursday and Friday. Did not practice either of the last 2 days. He's officially listed as questionable for this game. So, again, they have a whole bunch of offensive linemen that are banged up, but they ended up practicing and they're all good for the game. A lot of other players. Aaron Jones a little banged up. Everybody is good to go. They were just resting some of their guys. So that's what we're looking at here. Christian Watson, the receiver, Jair Alexander, their cornerback, and running back A.J. Dillon, who looks like he's going to definitely miss the game. For us, it's just Cooper Rush. So we are lucked out, knock on wood, that we're looking good there when it comes to the injury situation for our team, the health of our team. Now, as we get closer to these matchups here, I do want to match up some basic statistics one more time real quick. Cowboys are averaging basically 30 points a game. The Packers defense allowing only 20 points a game. So you're seeing about a 10-point swing there. Who's going to win that battle? The Packers, their run defense, not very strong. They allow 128 yards per game. So we can kind of run on them a little bit. Most teams do run on the Packers, but we don't really bother running too much. We still get, we're still above average as a running team with 113 yards per game. So we'll see how we hit them there. Now, the pass defense for the Packers, again, feels like it's one of the best ones because no one throws against them, but they are very throwable against. 207 yards per game they give up. We throw for 259 yards per game. Trust me, if we decide to throw, it should be, unless their pass rush gets to Dak, we should have fucking 270 yards or more passing from Dak. And then, of course, we talked about turnover differential. The offense does not give up the ball for us. We do not give up the ball too often. We're plus 10, and of course, our defense gets the hand on the ball one way or the other. The Packers, we said it, they do not have a good. They have what? They have 7 turnovers. They have 7 interceptions on defense.
Yeah.
Combined, Deron Bland has 9 interceptions on his own. Packers are at 0, dead 0. They don't turn over the ball too much, but they also don't take the ball at all either. So they just kind of a bland team, solid discipline on offense, defense. They just don't get turnovers. So that's the way that goes. You know, when it comes to their defense, allows a total of 335 yards per game. Keep that in mind. Now our defense, we allow about 300 yards per game. All right. How about Green Bay's offense? They score 22.5 points a game. Our defense allows 18.5 points per game. Packers run, and trust me, they will try to run on us. They average out 112 yards per game, guys. That's the same. It's 1 yard less than we do per game. Mm-hmm. That shows you that we run better than they do in an overall way. And when it comes to stopping the run, again, we allow 112 yards. So basically, everyone's at 112 yards when it comes to rushing. It looks like on all sides of things. Passing yardage, the Packers throw for 233 yards a game. We allow only 187 yards per game. So, you know, we'll see who wins this out when it comes to those basic stat numbers. But, baby, when you look at some of the I like to look at some third down numbers sometimes.
Yeah.
Third down conversion rate. One of the biggest things, you got to convert those third downs to continue drives. You know, or if you're a team that can't get them, that means you get stopped a lot, right? A lot of punts. So the Cowboy offense has a third down conversion rate of 48.2%. That means basically 1 out of every 2 times we're converting third downs. That is the second best in the entire NFL. On the flip side, the Packer defense has allowed opponents to convert third downs 41% of the time. That is the 6th worst in the NFL. So you want to have an advantage against the Packers. Attack on third down, set up third down in shorts, 3rd and 2s and 3s and 4s, and we should get them on this Packer team. They will not be able to stop us going by these basic numbers. And by the way, you know, we're not just talking about offense and defense. What about special teams, baby? This guy who breaks down special teams, Rick Gosselin, for the 2nd consecutive year, he's rated the Houston Texans with the NFL's best overall special teams group. The Cowboys, they finished as the worst punt return team in the NFL.
Damn, I guess Bones is gone. I'm making a joke.
Now, but some people might not take it that way. The thing is that why do you think, though? That's the thing, though. Cowboys are the worst punt return team in the NFL, according to Rick Gosselin. Why do you think that is? The Cowboys go with Bones. We go for the punt block a shitload of the time, don't we? We attack the punt block a lot, which means you don't set up for a return unless it's a bad punt. You're not gonna get. You got to fair catch it. You know, we're not talking about kickoffs here. We're talking about punts. So when you're going for you're setting up yourself for a complete block or major block attempt on a punt. You're not having 2 guys blocking the gunners going down the field. You're not going to slow down guys from getting right to the turf and him having to fair catch it. So to me, I think that's one of the reasons why our punt return team, we rather rely on blocking the punt.
Bit more lackluster in that regard.
Yeah, we rather block the punt than take a risk. Not even a risk, but just then return the punt. It just sounds like it. And I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that 100%, but that's the Bones way.
Like statistical thing that shows that, like, you know, you have a better chance of, you know, doing that than returning the punt all the way or something. Like, I don't know. It just feels a little sad just because we're all kind of hoping that Turpin would do a little bit more. Right? And like you kind of said, I think you said this the other day, that, you know, it sucks that the only time we did get to see that was live and in action during the game while we were there, and the penalty.
Penalty, yeah. So, I'm Sean right on that.
So it's not like it's out of our capability of doing. Oh. Anyway. So, yeah, I'd rather have good field position instead of Ryan Fowles. And again, I do think that the current kind of NFL rule also impacted that, in the sense of we do play that very conservatively. We don't want to lose that field position for our offense.
I agree.
Like, just being real. Like, we, you know, even the few times we have run it back and stuff like that, like, you can kind of see the frustration overall because we don't really get much more than a handful of yards. At most, like maybe 10 if we're lucky.
I know.
So it's not. I'm just saying, like, it's
but that's
not
about
like it's
coverage
been
too, though,
successful
right? The way
that we've hoped.
Yeah.
The few times we have decided to be aggressive or try to run it back.
Yeah. No, I agree. Also, baby, I don't want to forget. I just saw a drop here from the man Frame Rippers.
Woo!
Dropping a $6 holler, and you know why, right? Because Mr. Voodoo Alpha, Mr. Frame Rippers, he has 4 to his name already. Plus 6, he's in the raffle. Yes, sir. And I'm pretty sure he's in the membership in some way. So
yes, he is.
Much love to Frame Rippers, Voodoo Alpha, a.k.a. Alexander Moreno. He's in the chat, all those names. We got you. He is officially in the raffle.
Shout out to you, man, of course. And by the way, let me.
And what raffle is that?
Here.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I'm like, well, it's been a while
the
since
Lunatics
we
raffle.
had a little bit of a commercial break here. So take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MCF on all social media, MyCowboysFamily. But yes, the man, the Lunatic, is helping us share the love and show the love here for this Cowboy playoff game because we have an awesome raffle going on. 4 lucky individual winners are going to be winning their own choice of Cowboy jersey. Any player, style, and size we have available, we got you, right? Shout out to the Moshman for, making it happen on the jersey side of things. But if you want to enter, you drop $10. And as you kind of saw with Frame Rippers, Voodoo Alpha, it is cumulative, right?
Yep.
So once you get to that 10, bam, you're entered. If you're an MCF member, you get a bonus additional entry, and the entries keep on stacking. So every additional 10 is another entry.
Yeah, you better chance to win one of these jerseys, guys. Sewn and stitched. You said it already. Old school, new school, all different styles. All the schools. Much love to the man, De Lunatic, for making this happen. And also, much love to our sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro, back to back. Like our 90s Cowboys, Big D, 82 points on the stream ball, still holding that down with that Witten number right there. You look at the membership gifting king, the champ, the guy repping in enemy territory, JD from DC. Much appreciation to you as he's, the king this week, and another king, Snug X, 3 weeks in a row as our Cash App king, wearing that crown and getting closer and closer, trying to take that first place spot, or taking that 4th week in a row. Because right now he is not in first place. He's like in 3rd place right now because Marissa Sparkle is currently in the lead when it comes to this week's Cash App run. With 1 day left before the game. Much love, Marissa, in first place on the Cash App and in first place on the overall board currently at the moment. Much love to Marissa Sparkle on that side of things. And by the way, the leader on the gifting board, trying to challenge this JD from DC's crown, is Mr. Skeptical Fan with 6 gifted memberships. Jason Renfro has 3, and I'm adding right now Mr. Roy Strasner. He's in 3rd place on that list with 2 gifted memberships.
There we go. Let me see. Here we go. No, just trying to roll back a little bit. Hot Boy said, Buffalo put something in that pizza. I'm telling you. So Spot Can You Save Me said, Dak puts the 4th quarter hat on, and then we'll see Lance. Hey, that'd be a nice little ending to the game. In a playoff game, to see a backup quarterback for non-injury or non-bad reasons, let's say.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
That's
a good time to check him out, see how
tremendous play.
We can see Trey Lance's, I would love to see Trey Lance play in a game like this if there's no Cooper Rush. If we're winning, 40-10 and it's, 5 minutes in the game. Let's bring him in. Bring in Trey Lance, get him a couple drives in there. He'll just hand off the ball and throw the ball once or twice. But it's something. Now that we've gone through everything, everybody hitting that like button, hitting subscribe, hitting that notification bell, on and on. Appreciate all 60 plus in the house. Let's get to the matchups as we, wrap this up tonight. There's a couple interesting matchups. I'm going to kind of rattle off here as fast as I can these matchups that we need to watch, but I want to, for everybody to kind of stay on page with me here and understand, how important these matchups are. And I'm going to start. I'm going to try to do this as well on the screen so you guys can see who I'm talking about. C.D. Lamb. Let's start with the offense. Dak, the offense, but it's about C.D. Lamb in the matchup I'm talking about.
All right.
And C.D. Lamb versus the Packer defense there. Number 23, Jair Alexander, who is banged up, is questionable for the game. But it's not just him either. It's Keyshawn Nixon as well. He is a guy that is currently, the nickel cornerback for Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to do something else here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second here. Give me 1 minute. I can't do it. There we go. All right. No, sorry. Keyshawn Nixon, number 25, and Jair Alexander, number 23. These are the two guys you want to keep an eye on when it comes to CeeDee Lamb and what he's going to be able to do. Of course, CeeDee Lamb, one of the hottest, best receivers in the NFL, if not the best right now, up there with Tyreek Hill. You know, entering the league, you know, again, entering this from the regular season, entering the playoffs, he is doing fantastic. His last 2 games for CeeDee Lamb, he's caught 26 passes for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. Again, his total receptions, we know, at 135, 1,749 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. No one has really been able to contain him this year. But the highest paid cornerback in the NFL is Jair Alexander. And he's going to be the one that's, you know, getting paid the money to try to stop him. And Jair Alexander is very good. We talked about some of the numbers yesterday, but is he good enough to slow down CeeDee Lamb, especially with his rolled ankle? Question for the game if he plays. And again, that's only when it's from the outside. If CeeDee Lamb goes into the slot, he will not see Jair Alexander. If he's on the left outside or the right outside, Jair Alexander, number 23, should be matched up on CeeDee Lamb if he plays. And if he doesn't play, if there's no Jair Alexander, they're in big trouble when he's on the outside. Because now they're going to have to go with Carrington Valentine, who's a rookie. They're going to have to go with Corey Ballantyne. They're going to have to go with Robert Rochelle. These are the options they have. And it's all failures for them if they have to rely on them. So that is why I say, you know, again, when you look at where Jair Alexander is going to be, it's whenever CeeDee Lamb is going to be on the outside. That's when you're going to see the matchup going. If he's not out of this game, he's going to have to play. He's going to play back. He's playing through back injury, shoulder injury, and a rolled ankle. You know, he's limited to. He was only played 7 games this year, Alexander. So because of these things, that should be a matchup that favors CeeDee Lamb in this battle here. So let me just explain though that CeeDee Lamb mainly lines up in the slot, not on the outside, but in between receivers, right? So who's the Packers' primary slot cornerback? Well, if you take a look at my picture here, it's that guy number 25 on your screen. Keyshawn Nixon. He finished the regular season having allowed the second most slot receiving yards of any defensive cornerback, any defensive player in the NFL. The second worst at covering slot receivers. He's going to cover 70 to 80% of the time in this game. He'll probably be the guy covering number 88.
I think that sounds like a good time for us.
Is that a good key matchup we must win? Now, you got to get protection for Dak to let this happen. But if you do that, Dak will find CeeDee Lamb in the slot. CeeDee Lamb will get open against Keyshawn Nixon. And right now, guys, again, Keyshawn Nixon, number 25, has allowed a reception once every basically 7.9 slot coverage snaps. And he's also allowed an average of 1.25 yards per slot coverage snap. That is the 10th and 14th worst ratings in the NFL this year. This guy basically is one of the lowest rated slot, nickel, whatever you want to call them, nickel cornerbacks in the NFL. And he's now got to go up against CeeDee Lamb for 70% of the game. So yes, CeeDee Lamb versus number 23 at the bottom of your screen there, Jair Alexander, who's banged up with the rolled ankle now, right? That's the hyped matchup for this game. Watch this, watch that. But guys, when CeeDee Lamb naturally gets into the slot, he's going to get matched up against number 25, Keyshawn Nixon. And that is the matchup we must win. We win that matchup, we will just not be able to be stopped on a regular basis, consistently getting first downs, consistently attacking down the field. That is the matchup. And you can do that with Brandon Cooks and other guys. But I'm just saying, when you got CeeDee Lamb,
do that with Brandon Cooks and other guys.
But when you got CeeDee Lamb sitting there, basically one of the best, if not the best receiver in the NFL, you attack that motherfucker. That's it. And, you know, on the outside, you get some number 23 with the rolled ankle. Attack that, too, as far as I'm concerned. But that's the hype matchup. I'm talking about the real matchup under the matchup. Let's attack their nickel cornerback. What do you guys think? Yes? No? I don't know.
Cosign.
Yeah, I think so. Now, you look here, another matchup. I'm not going to slow it down. You guys give your comments. We'll read them in a minute. You can drop some love, get in the raffle, and we'll read the comments some more. But number 87 at the bottom right of your screen, another matchup to watch on offense versus the Green Bay Packers safeties and linebackers. This is one of their weaknesses right now, especially at linebacker. But Jake Ferguson, guys, he is the guy to watch against the Packer defense. The Cowboys have been waiting for a tight end like Jake Ferguson to come in and take over. You know, more athletic than Witten was, right? I mean, he's a guy that can block pretty well too. And, you know, they wanted him to come over and just rip away that starting tight end from everybody. He did that. He's been first or second ranked in every tight end analytic and number and stat in the last 10 years. Either first or second in pretty much every tight end stat for the Cowboys in a season. So Jake Ferguson right now, we cannot go away from him, right? The success he has right now, again, has led opponents to start focusing coverage. Now they're looking to cover number 87, Jake Ferguson, a lot more. And they're using cornerbacks to try to take him out of the game. Now the Packers, I don't believe, they don't even have enough cornerbacks to take out Jake Ferguson and this. They got to worry about CeeDee Lamb. So they're going to have problems trying to take out some of our best players. But, you know, how do they account for? What are they going to try to do to account for Jake Ferguson? And that, to me, is going to be the biggest, one of the biggest questions coming up here for the Packers. How they're going to stop Fergie, in those first downs he gets us. Because right now, Dak Prescott, right there, he's going to be pointing out CeeDee Lamb in the slot. He's going to point out Jake Ferguson getting open. This is going to be a good direction we're going here with the Dak, the 4 to 87 connection. The Packer safeties, all right, have not done well at covering tight ends. I talked about this in our first look earlier in the week. They are like 28th in coverage against receivers, the Packers defense, and they're like 22nd against tight ends. Their safeties, who are going to be tasked in probably shadowing and covering all of our tight ends, specifically number 87, Jake Ferguson. Jonathan Owens, formerly of the Houston Texans. They got Darnell Savage. He's a good free safety, but not anything that's going to... I don't think he's going to be able to match up against Ferguson. So you got two rookies behind them, Anthony Johnson Jr. and Benny Sapp III. They're kind of sapped out a little bit there. Linebackers, if they try to dare have them cover Ferguson, they are horrible in coverage. Devondre Campbell, number 59, and Quay Walker, number 7. They might have to cover him in some crossing stuff. They're going to have their issues of covering anybody. But someone like CeeDee Lamb and, of course, Ferguson is going to be a major problem for this Packer defense. So the Packer safeties have not been able to cover tight ends the entire season. And really, they're not good in coverage against anybody, receivers, anything. The Cowboys must take advantage. That's what a CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Take advantage of Ferguson in this game. And again, you look at the way teams have been able to complete. They've been complete 60% of their passes against the Green Bay Packer safety crew. Mm-hmm. And they get an average of 11.6 yards per completion against the safeties when they're in coverage, especially receivers or tight ends. So this is another favorable matchup, another must-win favorable. Imagine if we win the CeeDee Lamb in the slot and we win the Jake Ferguson against the linebackers and safeties. Imagine if we win those. This will exploit their defense, and we will be able to march up and down the fucking field on these guys. Whether it is Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb there in the background, whether it is Jake Ferguson here, baby. The most combined receiving yards by a duo in this season. Usually you're going to get receivers. Listen to this. Mm-hmm. Number 1 is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. 2,813 yards. Number 2 is A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith from the Eagles. I'm sorry, the first one was the Dolphins. This is the Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, 2,522 yards. Number 3 is CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, a tight end. 2,504 yards between both of them. Of course, most of them are CeeDee Lamb. Ferguson's getting almost 800 yards in receiving yardage. Again, then you go to the next one, about exactly 100 yards down with the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown and rookie Sam Laporta, right? A superstar rookie tight end, not Jake Ferguson, right? But a superstar rookie tight end, Sam Laporta. That's the fourth best combo. It's behind CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson. Then they got Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle in fifth, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, 2 receivers, in sixth. So basically, half of this list is a receiver and a tight end. The best duo of receiver tight end, CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson this season. So I'm just saying, we got to continue to. These are two keys: CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson to win this fucking game. Case closed. You guys agree? I think we all agree. Hit a 1 if you agree. Now we need one last part of this thing here to be under control, and it's our offensive line. They got to hold up. They got to be able to block, and it starts. You see some guys here, some danger here on your screen. When you look at the numbers I'm talking about in the Packers, number 91, Preston Smith, he's jumping up in the air. Number 97, Kenny Clark. And number 52, Rashawn Gary. Guys, it's really about Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith on the edges against number 78, Terrence Steele. This is my worrisome matchup here. The first two I said, CeeDee Lamb will win, Ferguson will win. This one is up in the air because they have some damn good pass rushers, and Terrence Steele has been doing not that good so far this year. Doing better, though, in pass protection, at least against the Commanders, but they don't really have much, right? They're a team that traded away their best pass rushers.
Yeah.
This week, Terrence Steele will be going up against some of the tougher pass rushers, Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith. Like I said, Preston Smith, 91, Rashawn Gary, number 52. These two pass rushers combined for 17 sacks together this year. All right. They also have 53 pressures on quarterbacks this year. Both players have a nice array and change-up moves when it comes to their pass rush abilities. So when they switch guys, I mean, Terrence Steele's got to be ready for both guys, not just focus on one style. So he's going to have his work cut out for him this weekend. What's his name? Mark Soliari. Better get his shit together when it comes to getting Terrence Steele ready for this game. Both of these players have a different kind of pass rush moves, and they deploy them against offensive linemen differently. So Cowboy offensive linemen got to be ready for both these guys, 91 and 52 the entire game. I'm good. I feel good about Tyron Smith. He'll lock them down. I don't feel great about Terrence Steele, hence why that could be our weak link. If they get pressure through Terrence Steele and we don't help him out or nothing like this, if there's pressure coming through, guys, that stuff about Jake Ferguson I talked about is gone. That stuff about CeeDee Lamb is going to be slowed down. Do you understand how important this key is? This is the toughest key. Steele's play has been up and down, and more down than up, I will say. But really, run blocking, he's been all right. Much better than he's been in the pass blocking side of things. So this is something that both Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith do have some really good pass rushing skills. So expect the Cowboys. In the beginning of this game, I believe that they will leave him on an island and try to see how he fares against both of these guys and how he handles pressure. If he cannot hold up in protection, in pass protection, the Cowboys have to then put Schoonmaker in there and help chip block or even double team if he needs to on the edge out there to help them. It has worked. It's given guys chances to get open, even if you have less options down the field. If you have to do it, you have to do it. If you don't, the other option is 3 and outs, incompletions, bad passes, and sacks. So you gotta stop this pass rush from consistently. You'll get there once in a while. Consistently getting to Dak Prescott. The Cowboys need a fucking huge game from Terrence Steele if we want to really have full control of this game and do those other two factors that I discussed.
I agree.
On the offensive line, it ain't over. Because you got to worry about Frank Clark up in the middle there. He's going to be working inside there, the nose tackle. They got some good weapons inside, and that's where Tyler Biadasz comes in. I wasn't done with the offensive line. Picked on Terrence Steele. I'm picking on Tyler Biadasz. We got Tyron Smith healthy and back. We got Tyler Smith healthy and back. We got Zach Martin, no illness and back. No need to talk about those guys. They know they do a great job. They are elite players. We got to worry about Terrence Steele, and we got to worry a little bit about Tyler Biadasz, not in the run blocking or pass protection, against blitzing linebackers. That's a difference there. Yeah?
So you're being very specific.
That's why these matchups are important. Because listen, Quay Walker is a blitzing linebacker. He can come in, he can hurt us inside there. So is Devondre Campbell. They're not good coverage guys. They attack the inside. They put strain and pressure on the inside guys. The only guy I'm worried about inside that's getting strained or pressured out of the crew we have is Tyler Biadasz. Not that he can't do it, but he's got great help on his left and right with Zach Martin and Tyler Smith, but he's going to have to worry about blitzing linebackers and make the calls right. Biadasz has been, highs and lows this year for him as well, but he's done an overall nice job in not allowing pressure or letting sacks on Dak Prescott. This week, he's going to have to keep his head on a swivel like a goddamn bobblehead. Make sure he's picking up these blitzing linebackers that the Packers deploy a lot during a game. Specifically, number 7, Quay Walker, who has 3 sacks and he has 10 pressures at linebacker, inside linebacker this year. The Cowboys must win across the line of scrimmage, right? But we talked about the solid guys. We talked about Terrence Steele. We got to also hope that Biadasz can pick up these blitzers, because if they're picked up, if our offensive line can hold them back, even just normal, it doesn't have to be anything spectacular, just normal, we exploit their secondary. Mm-hmm. That's the key of the game. And that's where CeeDee Lamb and that's where Ferguson comes in, right? But we can't do that without Biadasz and Steele doing their jobs. So if we cannot handle this, the Packers will get consistent pressure on Dak. The game, you know what I'm saying, the game could get out of hand the other way against us. We can start losing the grip on this game. So Biadasz already has to worry about defensive lineman Kenny Clark, number 97, right over him to his left or his right side at times. But Biadasz and Dak need to be on the same page when they're calling out the pass protections and at the line of scrimmage. And we're at home. It's not going to be the loudness. Not going to affect us here, right? So the Cowboys should be in full control when it comes to the offensive, line calls and the adjustments made there, the protections for the offensive line. You have to give Dak at least normal, adequate time in the pocket for the Cowboys to easily, or I'd say at least have control to win this game. And then in turn, of course, you're able to attack their secondary. That's what it's about. So I'm going to take a quick breather. Because I just went full blast. Man, I am hyped for this shit. But that's how we beat this Packer defense. These are the key matchups. What do you all think about this?
So, Hot Boy said if Packers start blitzing, they're going to have to get Dak under 2 seconds, because that's how fast we'll let the ball go.
Correct. That's the thing with Dak Prescott, one of the best quarterbacks against the blitz. We talked about him with the pressure yesterday. One of the best. Jordan Lewis, not so good. Jordan Love, not so good. Dak Prescott, one of the best against the blitz and pressure.
And ZZZ, who's a Packers fan here chilling with us in the chat, said Fields was sacked on 25% of his dropbacks. If Dak can get his first and second read quickly, you guys will kick our ass.
That's the thing, though. The Bears, I will say this, and I said this earlier in the week, the first look, at least in the last couple of games, specifically even the Bears game, I know the Bears not that good, and they snuck by the Bears by a minimal score, but they are getting better across a lot of the things that they've kind of been average on the entire year. Running the ball in offense, their defensive pressure.
Look, you don't get into the playoffs with some of the closer matchups that they were having and stuff like that if you weren't trending in a positive direction.
Yep, they're trending in the right direction right now, and so they got to be a little more dangerous than maybe the stats will show. That's why we're breaking it down in a real way here. But our offensive line is going to be fully healthy. And if Biadasz and Steele can just play average, that'll give Dak the time to pick apart the Packer secondary, which as Packer fans, they're honest about it. They know it. They got a good pass rush, but if they don't get the rush, it's over. We should be, unless we make mistakes, it's over. We got control of the game on offense. So I love the interaction by even the Packer fans, because they give me a little more insight into what's going on their side of things. As long as it's not delusion. Oh, we're just going to kick your ass. Let's talk about the real deal here. That's what we try to do on MyCowboysFamily. So, now let's flip the script here and go on the other side of the ball and finish this up, strong. With the last couple of things that our defense must do against these cheeseheads. All right? What we have to do against the Packers, kind of up-and-coming offense. So, look, the last 4... This is what I'm trying to talk about. That's why I'm glad we got a Packer fan. In the last 4 games, Jordan Love has thrown 0 interceptions.
Damn.
No interceptions. And he's thrown 9 touchdowns. He did all of this with basically a bunch of young... I say Christian Watson's the oldest. He's 24. The other guys are rookies or second-year guys. A misfit collection of wide receivers. And some of them are missing time because of injury. Also, 2 tight ends that are rookies. I've talked about this. So they got danger in the sense of having the youngest team in the NFL right now, but they don't have the experience. And like I said earlier tonight, A.J. Dillon is a major missing piece. I like A.J. Dillon. I wanted him to come to the Cowboys as our power-ish kind of back, a little more hard-hitting kind of guy. We got Rico Dowdle. But A.J. Dillon took over the majority of the snaps while Aaron Jones was out. But he only scored 2 touchdowns and averaged 3.4 yards per carry this season. Basically proves that he's not a standalone back. A.J. Dillon. That's why I say I like A.J. Dillon as a secondary, guy used for short yardage, a specialist kind of guy. But you use him in conjunction with a Tony Pollard, who needs somebody to run with him, right? We know Tony Pollard is not really a full-time back either. So kind of like A.J. Dillon and him similar in that sense. But the point I'm trying to make here is A.J. Dillon's a rotational back who is probably not going to play this game. He is listed as doubtful. Aaron Jones is going to take more of the carries in this game, which might not make him as efficient, let's just say, in an overall scheme of a game. But the Packers, they also finished this year, finishing the game with allowing one less pressure than the Cowboys have. And they allow the 3rd fewest sacks in the Packers' offensive line, pass protection. So, again, our offensive run blocking, we talked about it, fantastic. But the Packers' run blocking is pretty good. They're all right. They run well. But their pass protection is actually where they're better at. And that's what I'm trying to say right now, guys. Only allowing the 3rd fewest sacks in the NFL. When it comes to run blocking, though, they need some serious work. They're far from the worst, from some of the worst offensive lines in the NFL when it comes to run blocking. But run blocking is by far not their strength. All right? Now, the coaches most definitely emphasize developing the line for pass blocking. That has been the creation, the way they created this offensive scheme has been to pass protect over run block. That's kind of the way they wanted this. So they wanted to make sure they were at all costs, more than run the ball well for Aaron Jones and get the blocking for him. It was more important to have a strong offensive line unit that pass protects for Jordan Love and protects their young quarterback, an inexperienced young cornerback. So, again, they are able to do that. They have a solid, very good, a top pass blocking offensive line, but a very overall subpar run blocking offensive line. That's where it hurts them a little bit. Even with all the good running, they're averaging the same amount of yards that we are running the ball. So, Again, Cowboys are a better run blocking offensive line, which we should definitely do against a very weak Packers defensive front when it comes to running against them. But when you flip it around, they have a very good pass blocking offensive line. We have a great pass defense, but we gotta actually get in there and get pressure so we can help the pass defense overall. The backup, the secondary gets helped when you got the hungry lion sitting back there. You see him crawling up behind Love. Gonna get some loving, I think. Because right now, Micah Parsons, the big matchup we're going to watch, guys, the big key matchup, of course, it involves Micah Parsons, but who's the guy specifically that I want to pick on in this game? Because I talked about Zach Tom, number 50, and let me know about my Packer fan that's in there. But Zach Tom only allowed, I think, 2 sacks in his entire year this year. It's the other side. It's the left side. It's the blind side. Rasheed Walker, number 63, who's allowed like 8 sacks this year and a lot of pressures. That is the attack we need to see. That is the key matchup to win this game. When it comes to them trying to pass the ball, Micah Parsons is there to wreak havoc. Micah Parsons is going to be a man on a mission, getting dissed on the NFLPA All-Pro list, getting dissed on the AP list, All-Pro list. Rasheed Walker now is his new victim here in front of him. I think you'll see most of Micah's pass rushes. New victim. Most of Micah's pass rushes is going to come on our right side, their left side. Rasheed Walker is in trouble, number 68. So, again, we know Micah will be moved around. He'll be over center in the A gap, B gap. He'll be on left and right side attacking both guys. Zach Tom will be attacked too. But it's going to be mainly Rasheed Walker. And again, the matchup that is the weakest for them when it comes to Micah's entry point, is going to be the left tackle spot. Walker has allowed 6 quarterback sacks, not 8, 6 quarterback sacks, committed 9 penalties. Put pressure on him, he will grab Micah Parsons, and this time they better call it. And he only has 851 snaps. When you look at the other side, right tackle Zach Tom, he has 1,068 snaps and only allowed 2 sacks. A lot stronger on the right side for their blocking for pass protection. So their pass protection breakdown is their left tackle. The Packers, no doubt, will give him help. They will have to bring in guys to help chip block and help double team Micah. We know that he was triple teamed against Washington, but then we got DeMarcus Lawrence tipping the ball and getting a pick for Donovan Wilson. See what happens when you double and triple team Micah Parsons, who, by the way, even though gets double teamed more than anybody in the NFL, beats the pass rush against double teams more than anybody in the NFL percentage-wise. So you're not going to stop him with 2. You might have to bring 3 guys to block him, and Rasheed Walker is in fucking trouble. Micah should be in this game in Love's face all day, unless they do quick passes, which we should play press defense, and that could cause picks. But point is, Packers will try to give their left tackle some help. And this is obviously one of those matchups I talked about, CeeDee Lamb in the slot or Ferguson against their linebackers and safeties. That heavily favors us. This matchup also heavily favors the Cowboys. Micah on the edge against their left tackle is a huge advantage for the Cowboys. Again, Micah leads the NFL in quarterback pressures with 103 and has 14 sacks, tied for 7th. That's the best in his career, by the way, with 14 sacks. So Micah is coming for you, Mister. He's going to get some loving in this game. Trust me on that. One last point about Micah Parsons. His dominant season, he has had quarterbacks under pressure all fucking year.
Yep.
And undeniably. Yeah, I'm just going to show you some of his highlights. That's, you can say
he's being held 17,000 different ways.
Yes, he is. So this was, last year's kind of package here. But the point is, right now, when you look at quarterback pressures, like just the 103 leading NFL, number 1 in the NFL, 62 pressures he has under 2.5 seconds. Under 2.5 seconds, he's gotten in there 62 times. And he has 17 pressures when double teamed. That's number 1 amongst all pass rushers in the NFL. He's also the only player with a 20-plus quarterback pressure percentage in the NFL through next-gen stats. How do you think Jordan Love's going to feel? What's Jordan Love going to do when he got Micah breathing down his neck right here, like in this picture? Listen to this, baby. Jordan Love versus pressure. We talked about Dak's numbers yesterday. Fantastic. Pressure Dak, please do. Dak will tear you apart. Blitz him, please do. But Jordan Love versus pressure, he's only thrown for 993 yards under pressure. He only has 4 passing touchdowns when he's pressured, and he has 3 interceptions. That's not a good ratio. His completion percentage above expectation is negative 2.3, which is only 51% of the time he makes completions when he's pressured. That's very bad. That's flipping a coin. His passer rating when he's under pressure, 72.5 is his passer rating. Guys, if Micah gets even a little pressure, Jordan Love his numbers are going to drop. We talked about it yesterday. I'm going to talk about more tomorrow. When Jordan Love is scrambling, his numbers hit the bottom, hit the ground. Dak's go up. Dak is actually one of the best when he's scrambling. Jordan Love scrambling, he can't throw. He's not good on the run. Now, the only difference, like let's say him and Aaron Rodgers would scramble and extend the play like Dak and find the guy and make a big play. That was the danger in Rodgers scrambling, not running. Jordan Love can run the ball. So you'll see him sometimes running the ball. He runs for touchdowns. So you got to watch him running the ball a little bit. He's mobile. But when he's mobile and scrambling and not able to, not running the ball down the field, he's going to try to throw the ball. He's going to make mistakes. So when you pressure him, Jordan Love will make mistakes. Obviously, Micah Parsons attacking, their offensive line and attacking Jordan Love is one of the major keys of this game. But, to me, one of the scariest situations, if not the scariest, is not the quarterback. It's number 33, Aaron Jones. All right? And without, A.J. Dillon, less help there on the running back side, we got to make sure this guy does not weaken. We got to weaken him before he weakens us. We've gotten crushed by him in previous years. Aaron Jones has killed us in Dallas or in Green Bay. All right? So I think the whole game plan is going to be for them. As it is for our defense to stop Aaron Jones, for them it's going to be run Aaron Jones. And I think that's going to happen in this wild card matchup. Last season, these two teams met, and both Aaron Jones and the doubtful to play A.J. Dillon, they combined for 203 rushing yards against us between both these guys. They ran all over us in Green Bay last year. They were averaging 5.5 yards per carry. And they were down 14 points, still came back and won that game, mainly running the ball on the ground. That's how they didn't really throw as much. They got their touchdowns in the air, but they marched down the field on the ground, down 14 in the third and fourth quarter. So you understand they're not going to lay off the run game in this game. They're going to push the run game, push it, and then push it some more. So it is true that Aaron Jones has battled injuries this year, and when he's not in there, and he's not 100%, they definitely are not that as good, right? But he's healthy now. And he's eclipsed, like I said this earlier, over 100 yards in his last 3 games. I think he has over 110 yards, to be specific, in his last 3 games. And he leads the NFL in the last 3 games with 358 yards on the ground. And he also have explosive runs of 10 yards or more in that time frame. He leads, basically he leads all running backs with yardage and with explosive runs in the last 3 weeks. You understand what I'm trying to say here? This guy is dangerous. He's shown his danger. We know he's dangerous. We've seen it. In the last 3 weeks, his trajectory is up, up, up. So we got to slow him down. I don't know if we're going to stop him. We got to slow him down. You know how you stop him? You slow him down by making those tackles. Hankins playing great inside. But you got to get your linebackers like Marquise Bell and Damone Clark to stop him. But that's the way you slow him down. You know how you stop him? The offense got to score points. You force them to throw the ball. Once you force this team to throw the ball, if we're up 21-3 or 28-7, once we're up, they will throw and they will. Again, I know they might go back to Aaron Jones, but they'll have the tendency in this game, if we really can shut them down in the beginning and we get some points throughout this first half, I think it's a factor of slowing him down, taking him a little bit more out of the game, even if they will try to bounce back and run the ball. Last year, Aaron Rodgers had to tell LaFleur, their head coach, to run the ball instead of passing the ball. So now no Aaron Rodgers there to help them out because they won last year when they ran. So again, to help contain him, Aaron Jones, it's going to come down to mainly Marquise Bell because of the fact that Aaron Jones is not just a running back, he's also a receiving back. Mm-hmm. He can catch the ball. And that's Marquise Bell. He's the best in the league in coverage at linebacker. So to me, Marquise Bell in coverage against Aaron Jones is a major key matchup. I think we can win that matchup. At the same time, we're going to need Damone Clark and Marquise Bell to get in there and fill those run fits and those run gaps because Hankins going to do his job in there. Hankins going to hold that line and make sure these linemen don't get to the second level and block our linebackers. That's where the linebackers cannot make mistakes against Aaron Jones. We make mistakes against Aaron Jones and go in the wrong gap, then he will fucking make us pay. And it could be the game for the Cowboys. So we got to be sure we're doing our jobs on defense. And Dan Quinn got to get these linebackers ready to go. That is going to be the biggest part of the game, I think. It's not just Hankins going to be Hankins. He's going to do his thing. It's about Marquise Bell, Damone Clark, and this run defense has to lock up Aaron Jones. We don't do that, the game will be hanging in the balance. It will be a close game. They might even control the game. And if it gets to that point where they can play us with the run and the pass, guys, we could be in trouble. That's why I go to our thumbnail again for a moment, because we talked about everybody on the screen. Marquise Bell, Ferguson, Keshawn Nixon, Jair Alexander, CD, Micah. Everybody on this list has been talked about. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. There's 2 guys, and one of them is number 2. The other guy is number 11 for the Packers. You guys know who that is? Number 11 is Jaden Reed, their slot receiver. Oh, yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching you, Packers. Jaden Reed versus Jordan Lewis. This could be, if the game becomes a shootout, this could be the game-breaking, game-deciding key matchup here, guys. Not the same advantage as the other way around, right? When you see here CeeDee Lamb against Nixon, that is a true advantage. The Cowboys have a major advantage in this situation. But when you flip it around, the advantage goes to Green Bay. Not as much. It's not as big an advantage, but it's still an advantage nonetheless. The Packers have a mismatch using number 11, Jaden Reed. And again, he'll be in the slot the way we said about CeeDee Lamb in the slot. So you could look at the nickel cornerback and the slot matchup against the receivers as the biggest matchups on both sides of the ball in this game when it comes to throwing the ball. So it's going to be this rookie, the emergence of rookie, Jaden Reed, number 11. And I talked about him in the draft. I liked him a lot. They got him in the second round. But Jaden Reed, a rookie, the real deal, and he will give us problems in the slot. Quick, fast. We talked about his information, some of it yesterday, 2 days ago I'm sorry, yesterday we talked about Jayden Reed. Second round pick out of Michigan State. All right? Eating and eating and eating. Not as much as CeeDee Lamb, but he's a rookie, right? This guy's a rookie. He's eating out of the slot. 653 slot yards. Only trailing Amon-Ra St. Brown in second and CeeDee Lamb in first when it comes to slot yardage.
So
this
again,
guy's the third best. This is the third best slot receiver in the NFL. So, Cowboy fans, Cowboy family, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the insight. Others maybe don't and won't and don't know. I don't know. But either way, Lamb is the only guy that scored more touchdowns than Jaylen Reed in the slot. CeeDee Lamb has 8, all right? Jaylen Reed has 7 from the slot. So you understanding here the importance of this move here? Jaylen Reed will be matched up most of the time and probably all the time in the slot against number 2, Jordan Lewis, who's allowed, again, we know he's come back from his injury. He's played better in recent weeks from that Lisfranc foot fracture from last year. He's been started off slow when he got back in the middle of the year, got a lot better as we're entering this last month or so. But baby, the problem here is Jordan Lewis has allowed more yards than any slot cornerback in the NFL, other than Alontae Taylor, and the only other guy worse is number 25 on your screen from the Green Bay Packers, Keyshawn Nixon. Who's going to go? I'm saying, so when we talk about the guys who are giving up the most yardage are the guys covering these better slot receivers right now, so on both sides of the ball. So again, Jordan Lewis, he's 1.33 yards allowed per coverage snap in the slot. That is ranked as 11th worst in the NFL for Jordan Lewis. And he also has 8.7 snaps per reception allowed in the slot, which is tied for 15th worst for Jordan Lewis. Now look, Jordan Lewis has gotten better, so these numbers are a little skewed. Still showing he has some issues there, and it could show up against number 11. All right? I'm just warning. I'm not trying to say this, hype it this way. I'm giving the facts here. Jaylen Reed, number 11, saw 98 targets over the entire regular season. That's the second most among all Packer receivers over the season. You know what I'm saying? So that's their second most targeted guy. Now, I will say this. 55 targets is what he's had over the second half of the season. That is a big-time jump from being second to being first. When you look at the second half of the year, he is number 1 at being targeted for the Packers on this team. So, yeah, overall he's number 2, but really, guys, he's their number 1 target. Number 11. All right? And remember, they have some injuries. Christian Walker is out. He might be playing this game, but that'll give us more issues. But that's an outside issue, an outside guy. We're talking about Jaylen Reed, who's an inside slot issue. And that is where Jordan Lewis must perform. We got DaRon Bland. We got Stephon Gilmore who'll be playing this game. We're good on the I feel good on the outside. Jordan Lewis against number 11 is a key matchup, under the radar matchup. We got to hold it down and win, because if they get the run game going a little bit, they get the pass game going through Jaylen Reed, we could be in trouble in this one. So, again, when you look at this, guys, he's seen 13 more targets in the second half of the season than any other Packer player. I'm sorry, in the last 4 games, he's seen 13 more targets than any other Packer player. Receiver, tight end, running back, 13 more than the next guy. So they will and definitely attack with number 11, Jaylen Reed. I just thought we should all know and be on the same page on this. Don't you think, baby?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, I hope I provided you guys some excellent information about some important key matchups that we must win, or at least win most of these key matchups against the Packers in order to win this game. In some cases, we can win it more comfortably if we win more of these matchups. Feel me? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow we're going to break down some very good information as well on how we can, kind of finalize and beat this team with some real good information, a little pregame, I won't say party, but a pregame preview of this big playoff game. We may be partying on After Dark, but you have to go subscribe to MCF After Dark for that. Tonight, tomorrow, you never know what's going to happen. But either way, we might be partying there as well. So we'll see what happens, guys. But the party really should only begin when we win the Super Bowl, to be honest. But anyways, I've broken down as much as I can break down here tonight, baby. I am tapped out. I'm excited, and I cannot wait for this game. So, any quick comments real quick with some quick shout-outs as we wrap this thing up tonight?
Of course. So, Sorry, I'm not sure how to say your name. Saying Reed broke the rookie receiving record for the Packers this year. He's like a pro already. He's really good. Broke Sterling Sharp's record, I believe.
So dangerous. A lot of people aren't talking about him right now, but we are. I'm watching number 11. I'm watching you.
So he also said if Jones gets past their D-line to the second level, you're in trouble. You got to stuff us early to make us throw.
Yeah, I think it's not the D-line that has to necessarily stop. Of course, D-line has to help, but it's more about the linebackers filling those gap fits and making somebody get the tackle. They are not allowing more than, a yard or two at most. You know what I mean? So, you get the edges there with Tank and Micah Parsons, Dorrance Armstrong, let's say, on the outside, trying to shut down the runs off the C gap, off the edge. That's one option. And then you look at, the interior. You got Hankins doing a great job there. He'll keep two guys, double teaming him long enough for the linebackers to fill in those holes. If those things happen consistently, we should consistently slow down, not stop, but slow down. We would slow down Aaron Jones. And that would be enough for us to kind of take a little more control in the game.
So, yep. And then Juan Carlos in the house, right? Hot Boy saying we also have Juan Thomas, who's probably our best safety. You just got to put him on the field.
I'm not going to agree he's our best safety. He's definitely had some issues. He had some missed tackles against Buffalo. That was really, really not showing why he's still not there yet. But yeah, no, Donovan Wilson, Jaron Curse, Malik Hooker, all three of these guys are better than Juan Thomas. But Juan Thomas is a fantastic fourth option for the Cowboys at safety. Please don't get me wrong there. So, he jumped over guys like Israel Mukwamu and others to be able to secure that fourth spot. Get him on the field when there's a need. Do not force him on the field over guys like Jaron Curse, Donovan Wilson, or Malik Hooker. I'm sorry. I disagree with you there, Hot Boy 95. We still, he's still got a little bit more to go before he gets to the Marquise Bell status and getting some real full play time on that field.
So, but let me go ahead and start rolling with the shout-outs here, baby, as we wrap things up tonight again.
Power-packed, full 2.5 hour stream, guys. So we got to get out of here as quick as possible.
Yeah, but an extra special shout-out to the sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's right. Like our 90s Cowboys, representing it there. Appreciate you, JD from DC, the membership king. Thank you so much. Appreciate you as well. If you look up above, the man Big D, still rocking it. He's got 82 points on that stream, boss.
Much love. The king of the Cash App.
Snug X, you know why he's here.
Yeah, he's here
3 weeks in a row.
You know why he's here. He's here 3 weeks in a row and 3-peat for Snug X. But baby, who are the leaders currently on the raffle side? Roy Strasner coming in, dropping 2. Jason Renfro has 3 gifted memberships, but the leader right now is Skeptical Fan.
Ooh,
on that side of things.
Skeptical.
Big D, of course, 82 points. And when it comes to the Cash App leader and the overall leader, it's the same person. Sorry, Snug, it's not him yet. Marissa Sparkle taking over right now. I think she's about 7-8 up. Oops, I'm sorry there. Marissa Sparkle is about 7-8 up on Calvin Richard, who I think is in... No, not Calvin Richard. I'm sorry. I forgot who's in there in that spot. Big D is in second place right behind Marissa Sparkle on the overall board. And, you got guys like Snug X and many others, Smokey and others, who's right there behind Marissa Sparkle on the Cash App. So we'll see how this thing continues this week. We got one more day to go before you guys can do what? What's the big thing we got going on this weekend outside of the huge game?
Guys, the Lunatic raffle. 4 lucky winners are going to be winning an authentic, stitched-in jersey of their choice, style, and size, of course. But the way to enter, you drop $10, bam, you're automatically in it. Every additional 10 is an additional bonus entry. MCF members get a bonus entry on top of that once they're entered. And I can't wait to see who the 4 lucky winners are going to be.
Yeah, we know the fifth winner. It's going to be the Dallas Cowboys over the Green Bay Fudge Packers. That's the hope. Much love to everybody in the raffle. Good luck to you all as you guys stack your entries, try to get better chances to win one of these great jerseys. But always giving the extra special love to the Lunatic for making this thing happen right here on My Cowboys Family.
Let me go ahead and do the shout-outs here in the chat, of course.
Let's do it. Let's get it on.
Orion Files, much love. Seabass, yes. Extra late night here on the MCF side of things. Hotboy 95, Juan Carlos, Vote RFK. Let me see. We have Spot, Can He Save Me? Thomas Garrett, The Superior Garrett. Yes. Kenzie Bands, NDM Boogie. Tommy Bundles. Frank Moyer. H.G. Wells. Matt Persico in the house. Frame Rippers. Jeff Coughlin. Aztec Aguilar. Roy Strassner. Eastside Herald.
Eastside.
Drums and Cowboys. Revelation Journalist. GM. Calvin Richards. Ruben 34. Big D. Dirty South. Scorpio. Jared Jones.
Jared.
Yeah, it's actually more or less as far back as I can go. SD420. Thanks for rolling through here. Appreciate the love.
Yeah, SD, I saw his comment yesterday. Appreciate you, man. I know he's been in the background listening a lot. He's more involved in the chat. We appreciate that. And again, we'll hit up everyone's comments here and there throughout our streams, throughout our weeks and months and years of doing this. So we're glad to see more people coming in, talking, and laying their thoughts on our Cowboys. Agree or disagree, it's about sharing ideas. And hopefully all seeing the same thing in the end. That's 6 and beyond. Got to give the big shout-outs to those that dropped the big drops of love and support. Sponsorship love from above. Snug X in the Cash App. Jason Renfro. Skeptical Fan with the thanks button. Roy Strasner gifting memberships. Much love to him. Mark Hosepian, much love to his drops tonight. Big D taking over a lot of the boards and getting closer to the overall top spot here. Calvin Richard. Frame Rippers in the Cash App. Thank you all for the love and support here at My Cowboys Family. And always repping that navy blue, silver too, and that star over everything. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow with a little pregame preview. I do have some stuff already ready to talk about for tomorrow. We might have some drinks, or we'll see what happens. I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow or not. We'll talk about it. The kids are here, so unless they get to bed early, probably not going to do none of that. But either way, we'll discuss things, talk about things tomorrow, and get you up to caught up on any elevations, any last second, injury changes and status changes that could happen tomorrow on both teams. We'll get you caught up on everything on a quicker live stream tomorrow, probably on this side of things, right here in My Cowboys Family on a Saturday special. But baby, as we get out of here on a fantastic Fan Friday, remind everybody why we do this each and every day for 6.5+ years here on this corner of YouTube on My Cowboys Family. Baby, why do we do this?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here on this channel, we rep that star over everything. Never forget, guys. Here for 6+ years of My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond, damn it. Let's get it. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long on this Fan Friday. Appreciate your guys' drops of love from above. Support to the channel is why we're able to do these 2.5+ hour streams, especially for the playoffs. So thank you guys. Entire weeks, months, years we've been doing this thing. Best fans of all YouTube. And also, baby, as we get ready to clock out and drop out for the night, before we can relock and reload for our pregame preview tomorrow for this playoff game. A lot of Packer pregame preview. A lot of P's. Before we can do that, baby, let everybody know what we got to do before we drop out of here for the night.
We got to drop.
We got me going here.
The beat. And shout out.
That beat's been dropped.
To Big D.
In the house.
Who's asking with a final $5 holler as we finish things up tonight, saying, I'm hungry. Any MCF after dark? After night?
We'll see. You got to stay on that. You got to keep that notification bell on MCF After Dark. But it's so late tonight, I don't think I'll be able to do it. Oh, there it is. Big D with the big 5 on it. Finishing it up here on this side of things. And, baby, I think, he's knocking on that first place door on the overall board. We'll see, Big D. If we have an overtime session here in My Cowboys Family, MCF After Dark, you'll see our notification going live at maybe 4 in the morning, 4:30, 5. I don't know. Kind of tired. Kind of getting ready for this big weekend. I'm excited. I know you guys are too. So we're probably focusing more on that. Although, a little birdie told me either tonight or tomorrow, After Dark may be going live. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for wrapping up another Cowboys chat right here on MCF, where we talked about all the important must-win matchups against these Green Bay Packers. Hopefully, we win most of these. We'll win this game. That's the way I see it. Leave your comments down below if you're watching this in the replay or after this stream. Let us know what you think. Agree, disagree, or what your thoughts are how to win this game. Either way, here in MCF, It's always about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever, ever, ever forget the number one thing right here at My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house, even the haters. Appreciate you all, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button for the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know we're going live on the nightly. And of course, have a good night, stay safe, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the preview, and never ever forget, Go Cowboys!